Hello there, and welcome to the James T. Keegan Star Wars review special, where today we'll be looking at Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Visions Volume 2. But I can't do it alone, so let me get my crew for the evening on the screen. First up, we have the Ginger Geordie Geek, Peter.
Ew! Pinching yours.
Someone has to do it today. What's going on, man?
Not bad, man. Not bad. Looking forward to this. So this one should be interesting.
Should be good. You've never reviewed a game on my channel before, have you?
No, I don't think so.
No, just adaptations and stuff. Yeah, so
yeah.
Should be an interesting one. Yeah. Next up, we have GP Venom.
Hello there.
Hello there. What's the crack?
You missed a trick of Pete's name, mind. You should have called him the Ginger Geordie Jedi.
Oh yeah. I mean, Jedi doesn't begin with a G.
You should be hosting.
I know,
but I'm with you, Ginger Geordie Jedi. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. I was going to try and make the Chewie to my hand or something. I thought about, but I just forgot it in the moment. To be honest.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not.
Of course, Chewie's the unsung hero.
That's a good Wookiee. Strangle the cat.
And last but not least, we got Comic Lad Simon.
Hello.
Hello there. What's up, man?
Yeah, not too bad, man. How are you?
Yeah, very, very good. So before we get started, let's have a look at the chat and see who's joining. First up, Quack Quack StreamYard. How's it going? We got Professor Dunlop. Have a great show, fellas, reviewing this computer game. There's a little bit of shade in that, it feels like. I felt a little cheeky, to be honest.
Just a tad.
I love you, Fuzzy, and I appreciate you being here, so thank you very much. We got Pass Point Comics. Heyo, what's going on? Comic Book Familia. How's it going, Efren? Nice to see you. Fuzzy, I'm too poor to own a PlayStation, but any chance to be entertained by Simon, and I'm there. Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be some bangers, I'm sure, tonight anyways, definitely. So that is the chat. So, guys, we have a lot of stuff to get through, so we'll get it up on the screen. First up, Star Wars Visions. Volume 2. Just before we go through the episodes, what Volume 1 you all watched, I assume?
Mm-hmm. Watched the first episode and struggled on the second.
Yeah, for me, the first season was kind of hit and miss. Like there was a few I really didn't gel with. I think this one overall, I enjoyed them more.
I'd use a fuzzyism. I thought season 1 was utter mince. I just didn't. Before the show, when I was complaining about it being too anime, and you said, "Oh, there's only 2 episodes." Were you talking about 2 episodes in this season or the first?
No,
season?
no. The first one. The first one is all anime. This one,
the first season, I couldn't get my head around. I just didn't. There were some all right episodes. Don't get us wrong, but yeah, I think this season was far superior in my little simplistic mind.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Anime, though, innit? It's shit.
Yeah.
Right, I'll have a word with you.
I just love the concept of this show, like the idea of kind of giving other cultures like a chance to put their thing into Star Wars. I think that's a really amazing thing, and we see this certainly throughout this season, definitely. Them doing that. So we'll go episode by episode anyway, and have a chat about them. So the first one, Sith. I think this was the best looking one. It's a little bit Spider-Verse-y, I think, but and the paint thing I'm not even talking about. I think like the lightsaber fight.
That's the first thing I thought of. The animation was the same as Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But the way it was done was really good with the paint.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there's obviously some kind of a deep story there about identity and whatever, but I just choo lightsabers. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Very cool Sith design, I thought, at the end, and I thought it was a good twist that she is a former Sith apprentice, and the concept of an apprentice who's ran away and their master coming after them, I thought was quite cool as well. Pete, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, so I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the latter half of this episode more than the first half. I often think that I'm just too old and too slow sometimes, and sometimes things are a little bit artsy-fartsy for me, and I can't see the deeper meaning between the nice colourful paintings and things like that. But when it got to kind of her out and about fighting the Sith and stuff, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a while since I've watched it. That image there, so her lightsaber at the end was kind of 2 different colours, is that right?
Yeah, so it's representing the light and the dark.
This shift between them. Yeah. No, I really like it. And I thought the animation style was really nice in this. I liked this one a lot more than the first one.
I'm not really a fan of I accept it now because there's so much of it, but the Clone Wars and Rebels art style, I've never really cared for it. So watching this like show, a lot of the time I'll look at one and say, oh, I'd really love if this was like what they did Star Wars animation. Like if this is what like, and this is definitely one of them. The lightsaber fight was like just incredible to watch. I just felt a lot more grounded. Really big fan of this little droid buddy though that she had. I thought that was Star Wars needs a good. This was a good one. Simon, you fan of this one?
Yeah, I thought this kicked it off really well. This one, the studios El Giri Studios in Spain.
That's Spain, yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed this one. I loved her lightsaber, and it's just all Sith, and it's just kicking it off with the Sith, and like she used to be a Sith, and he's trying to, it goes on to the point that they can only like if you've been a Sith, you can never sort of break away. Do you know what I mean? From that Sith sort of, there can only be two Sith type of feeling.
Well, it depends on where this is set, because like I assume this isn't in the kind of this is presumably hundreds, if not thousands of years earlier, and like a lot of them are quite vague with where they are set in.
But I do like how lightsabers, the yellow lightsabers are very, and we'll see it sort of. I don't know if you're going to mention it later on, but how a yellow lightsaber can be also turned into like sort of red. It's sort of that transition. So it's like a yellow lightsaber to me is a transition to whether you're going to be go to the dark side or go to the light side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a mood ring, Simon.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling like a bit of yellow today, Yeah. Absolutely.
Depends what side of the bed you get out of.
Can I ask a new Star Wars, not a nerd question?
Yes.
Because I never really got this whole thing about how you can have as many Jedi as you want, but there's only ever two Sith. Is that still canon? Because that feels...
Oh yeah, that's canon.
Yeah.
So the purpose of it is, I think it was Darth Bane. So he's like 1,000 years or so before the main story. Basically, the Sith just kept killing each other, and they would just constantly be infighting. And so there was this rule of two. You would have a master and apprentice, and they're supposed to kind of work together and trust each other, but ultimately it's always
I think
the
there was
that goes and kills the master.
I think there was a story where there was like a Sith war.
Then you had
people like Exar Kun and I forget the other fella's name, and they were fighting to be like the master of the Sith. It's really interesting stuff. It's all in the Dark Horse comics.
But
the expanded stuff.
But I mean, I guess in terms of the Sith wanting to take over the galaxy, and yes, you'll argue the Empire do and all the rest of it, it feels a little bit short-sighted that to say, tell you what, guys, we can only ever have two of you, whilst there's thousands of Jedis wandering around and stuff like that.
I think it's because they're so constantly infighting, they can't focus on taking over. Like they're just constantly backstabbing and killing each other. And now I love, like, I don't play the Old Republic, but there's like CG cuts, like CG trailers for it, where there's like loads of Sith and loads of Jedi fighting. And I'm not sure why we haven't really gotten a live action interpretation of that.
There is one point where I don't know which game it is, where the Sith and the Jedi join together to stop this other galactic empire type entity.
Yeah.
And so, you actually see loads of Sith and loads of Jedi at that point. So,
well, actually, I'm sorry, James, I'm derailing.
I'm happy. Honestly, it's a good.
Just on that point, then it must have, or you have. Do you get like a badge, or you're like a formal Sith? Because when we go to this computer game we're about to talk about, you've got Vader, you've got Palpatine, you've got spoilers, Brody, who's Bode, yeah. What the fuck's Brody of? Anyway, you've got both, so that's
so you have Inquisitors. There's like Sith assassins, like
so I guess it's just you're formally a Sith, two of them.
Yeah, but then you can like practice in the dark side, but you're not in the club.
Okay, thank you. That explains it much better.
It's the same when
Simon, don't confuse us more, mate. Don't start making stuff up.
I'm not making stuff up. I'm not making stuff up. I was going to say it's the same when obviously you had Palpatine and Darth Maul, but the same sort of period he brought in what's his name? Dooku. Yeah, and at the same time they were both Sith at the same time, but
was General Grievous at the same time as well.
Yes.
No, but he didn't really count. It was a robot.
Well, no, Dooku became
Dooku had an apprentice
after Darth Maul died.
Yeah, and Dooku had his own apprentice, Ventress. Yeah. And then Savage.
I guess what I'm hearing is it's bollocks. Yeah. You
Rule of two. It's
Just make it up as they go along, Pete.
yeah.
can almost
This
like
is
it's not
about
real.
wizards with laser swords, Peter. That's not important, you know.
I'll not delve any deeper.
GP, any kind of last things to add before we go to the next one?
Forgot what we were talking about now. No, actually, but this seems to be an overarching thing in this series about the Sith and the Apprentice. There's a few episodes that touch on it, which I thought was really good. But this episode itself, yeah, I really liked the way it was animated, the use of the colours on white, and how she's going more towards the dark and the colours turn dark. I just thought it was really well done.
It's funny GP saying that because I watched season 1 and then season 2 within the space of a couple of days. So I watched I watched all of it together. And the art style on the poster you just showed, James, and then this episode, and then I think the next couple of episodes are all Sith focused. I just assumed that season 1 was about Jedi, season 2 was going to solely be about Sith.
But there is a couple of, I think it's just sort of coincidence that there's a lot of Sith Apprentice stuff in this season. Family is like a really big point of this one as well.
Yeah.
Like relationships with mothers and sisters and stuff. So I think all these studios work completely independently, and they're not looking at what the other ones are doing. You know.
So it already got said that the studios don't talk to each other because there's a lot. You'll find out moving forward. There's a lot where it all starts all around girls finding stuff, or do you know what I mean? And there's a lot of them at the start like that. So
Sith. Anyway, this will probably be my one of my favorites of the season. Anyway, not even for the story, just the visuals purely. So yeah, big thumbs up for this one. Screecher's Reach. So this is from Cartoon Saloon, which I am familiar because it's an Irish animation studio. They're kind of very prestigious. They do a lot of mostly movies, like on Oscar nominated ones. The Wolfwalkers, I think, was the last one they did, and they did Song of the Sea. Very kind of Celtic inspired, and there's like a bit of that influence here as well. I'm not sure about the art style of it. Like I think it's so simplistic compared to the rest of the season. But I love the story. I thought it was really great. Like I think it's a good inverse of what we usually get in Star Wars, where it's like this young person going on this task and completing it, and a Jedi comes and brings them to a better life. And so to have that twist at the end of this, that it's a Sith. It's like an evil version of that. I thought that was really cool. Simon, start with you. What do you think of Screecher's Reach?
Actually, this was one of those that I didn't quite like at the start. I thought it took a while to get into because there was like sort of two stories going on, one with the friends and then one when she goes into the cave on her own. So, but the ending I did like. So,
yeah, good twist.
Yeah.
GP.
Yeah, this is like the first of many to pull on your heartstrings. This one, right at the end. But yeah, I enjoyed the art, the animation. I enjoyed the story. The thing with the witch, I thought was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think that's supposed to be like a banshee style creature.
Yeah, well, that's what I got from it. Yeah,
Irish influence, definitely. And
just
with the lightsaber, very surprisingly scary. Like the horror element of it in this one, like it goes darker than anything.
Yeah, it took that unexpected turn once they got into the cave because it was like very. They're just friends out having an adventure.
Yeah,
until they get to the cave, and then it just takes a dark turn.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. The one thing though that stuck out to me is like the accents. Like,
definitely, you could tell.
Hearing
the
Irish accents, is really, and like some Irish kind of like colloquialisms, like Aegis. Someone said Aegis. Oh yeah, Aegis. That doesn't suit Star Wars at all. Or like, I'll kick her up the arse. Like it was just like, okay, but like, no, didn't detract for me anyway. Peter,
back in Egypt.
So I didn't get detracted by the accents at all. I thought it was beautiful. I think you're wrong, James. I think the art style for me was perfect because I loved that simplistic kind of family art, which made the jump to the witch in the cave so jarring. Yeah. That's probably one of the only times during Star Wars that I've thought the Sith looked genuinely scary, terrifying, kind of horror kind of thing.
Yeah.
The way she was crawling around and stuff, it was sublime. I loved it. Like I say, a while since I've watched them. Has this one got a slight twist at the end again? Is she is it Sif, that the young girl?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the woman standing behind her on the bottom right
Yeah.
is like the Sith master, and I think
Yeah.
the Banshee lady she killed was her apprentice. So it's
Yeah.
like she's looking for a new one. That's Angelica Houston voices.
Was it? Oh,
Really?
Yeah. I learned that today. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
There's a couple of like surprise
Yeah.
actor appearances throughout the season.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I think the
it was a
watercolors
strong
with the watercolor backgrounds and stuff was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this one too. So any other thoughts? Anyone?
Just another
No?
solid episode. It was at this
Yeah.
point that I started to sit up a little bit because I was lying on my couch watching these, I have to say. And season 1, it started sending us to sleep. And if I'm starting to get bored, I play on my phone. So first episode of this, I thought, oh, actually, this is quite good. And then this came on and I actually got up and thought, actually, do you know what? I'm quite getting into this. This is better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
so yeah,
that's
I
good.
think this is a strong episode.
Yeah,
Stop lying on the couch and sat on the couch instead.
Exactly. Yeah.
In the stars, I love the animation of it. Again, I was like, I'd like all Star Wars animation to look like this. Like I thought it was just beautiful, like the lighting of it and everything. Again, a family story kind of between these two sisters. I found the little sister really annoying. The whole we can fight them. And I'm like, no, you can't. Shut up! Like, what are you doing? And just the way, like the big sisters, like I thought there was a really cool sequence where she's sneaking in to get the water and in this Imperial base. Was really cool. So yeah, good. Tugged on the heartstrings at the end. Anyway, kind of emotional. GP.
Yeah, I can absolutely agree with you on that one. Definitely tugs at the heartstrings at the end. Another one. Yeah, the kid was so annoying, but yeah, the animation style of the stop motion, absolutely brilliantly done. That bit with the ATST at the end with the woman. Yeah, so well done.
And the whole thing, like the mother's spirit in the sky. Was,
yeah,
was a
yeah.
nice thing at
But
the end.
that's
It's
another
like,
I think it was Pete saying the other arcing thing was the mother-daughter things, and
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Peace.
Yeah, it was a good episode. It's not a one that stands out particularly in my memory, if I'm honest. But I remember enjoying it. I don't know that I particularly liked the animation to start with. And I don't know if that was just because it was so jarring compared to what I'm used to seeing Star Wars in. And I think this one, for me, was probably needed for us to enjoy a future episode more. If I'd seen that future episode more, I might have thought, well, this isn't Star Wars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at first it was a little bit jarring, but I quickly kind of got by with it. And I think, a very nice, very touching story.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Simon.
Yes, the studio is called Punk Robot from Chile. I love the art style in this, I really do. But I have to agree with you, that kid was just so annoying, and it nearly made me not like the episode until the ending again. And
it came around at the end.
Then it came around, so it's a bit like the last one for me again. I just didn't like the starts, and then the ending just got me. So
yeah, definitely. I would say I put this probably in the middle for me. Like I some of the shots though were absolutely stunning. So I like the animation. And like I know these are supposed to be non-canon, but I think when you look at these kind of small scale ones, like I can just imagine that this happened in the universe somewhere, you know.
I liked how they weren't Jedi this time, but they were like Force sensitive. So that was fine.
Again, that's sort of a recurring thing this season as well. Is like not non-Jedi Force sensitive people. So like definitely was very cool. I remember I'd imagine this was a few years were most anticipating. I'm not really a Wallace and Gromit fan. Like I watched the Were Rabbit or whatever as a kid and liked it, but like I just I don't hate it. It's just not for me. But I really liked this episode. I thought it was really fun. Some good cameos and stuff. Really
did
fun.
the studio also do Chicken Little?
Chicken Run.
Run.
Chicken Run.
That's it. Chicken Run. Yeah.
Chicken
I enjoyed that. So.
Yeah, I like Chicken Run actually. I saw that. I forgot that they did that. Yeah. Pete, I know this was your one you were really excited.
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like I say, because of the last episode, I didn't find the animation style as jarring, if you know what I mean. I loved the humor of it. I loved all of the little kind of. It's a one you can watch time and time again and see lots of different little cameos and little things hidden into the imagery and stuff. It felt like an episode of Wacky Races, which I'm always a fan of. Yeah, and it was again a really lovely, heartwarming story about a mother and a daughter. So yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, I
Good
love the
episode.
bitchy posh
Yeah,
ones that
yeah.
they're racing against as well. It was really fun. Kind of a classic like Aardman villain character, were they like
Yeah.
two of them? Yeah. GP, anything to add?
Yeah, I'm just disappointed we didn't get a cameo by Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah,
Might have
yeah.
been a bit
Snuck
out
them
of
in the
out of place,
background.
though, wasn't it? Yeah.
Just snuck
Or
them
a
in the
Wookiee that
background.
looks like them, maybe.
Yeah. No, I was absolutely looking forward to this one when I seen it in the trailer. Yeah, just an all-round good episode. Brilliant.
And
Fun
Simon?
episode. I think I would say a fun episode.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It was
Yeah.
the most lighthearted of the season.
Like we just had a couple like dark episodes, and this one's just like lightened it up with that funness.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. I like seeing something different. So they definitely wanted about the Jedi again. It was about Flight Academy, and we always forget about that type of thing in Star Wars. So where we might see it in pod racing and other racing things, but I like these sort of things. So
yeah. Obviously, appearance from Wedge was a fun one as well. I think like probably the most prominent character to show up in this. Wedge and Tilly's Dennis Lawson.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay,
just smiling.
He doesn't know who he is.
Christ. Little fun fact: this is actually the planet that this takes place on is Mon Mothma's homeworld. So I can't remember the name of it. But, yeah. So,
okay.
Journey to the Dark Head. So Simon, we'll start with you because I think this is like the most.
This is
like,
the most anime style one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this one?
Obviously, I'm gonna like this one. One of these is my favorite because of anime style. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I love the fight scene on the sort of two heads thing at the end. I love the Sith.
Yeah.
So this was like, because we've got only Force sensitive. This was the very first sort of Jedi versus Sith sort of one, and that's why I did enjoy it. So I would put this one up the top there with me, just because, yeah. And
so is it actually anime because it's a South Korean studio? So does that count?
Yeah, well, it's anime style. So anime. I know it's South Korea. It's Studio Mimiko. There's a lot of South Korean sort of animes out there now. Anyway, so anime's a slight, play on words really. So
okay, cool. Pete, I did see as Simon was talking a spark go off in your head when you mentioned the two heads. I was like,
I couldn't.
That's what happens in this.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which one this was, to be honest. And just to, I hate to do it, but just to correct Simon, this isn't anime, and I can tell you that because I enjoyed it. So, all seriousness, this is the one where it starts off where the raindrops give them images of the future. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I love this episode, actually. I thought this was really, really cool. I love the fight at the end on the big kind of ring where they'll run backwards and forth. And then once again, a lovely story as well, once you realize that you cannot just get rid of, because I think our aim was to get rid of the evil head, wasn't it? The Sith head or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she realizes that actually it's all things are balanced. And you've got to have the good and the bad to kind of counterbalance each other. So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. And to be fair, the anime style and the artwork really worked well for me in this episode. I thought the sword fights were superb. So yeah, good one. James?
I'm back. Sorry. I got for a second there. I was getting worried for a second.
Oh yeah, I thought you were deep for.
Yeah. I was to me, 2 seconds went by of silence, so I don't know.
It's been about 5 minutes, mate.
Maybe
you've had a little episode. Are you all right? You haven't waited
for time.
Fastball Comics. I wonder how much input George Lucas has on any of the new shows. I know, like, he's involved with Mandalorian, and some like Filoni talks to him about it.
Yeah.
I don't think he has any. I'm assuming he doesn't have any involvement with this one.
I think the reason why I like this one, it reminded me of the Clone Wars when you had the brother and the sister. That's what sort of, if you, well, GP will understand because you've watched Clone Wars, haven't you? So
I'm halfway through it.
Oh,
I'm halfway through it as well.
Jeebus, no one understands then.
Is it
The
just from
shoe
the
sign.
final season, the
don't
Ahsoka?
discount me. I might have watched all of Clone Wars.
Have you watched all Clone Wars?
No, I have not.
Don't
No.
be stupid, Sam.
I'm just
Yeah.
talking on my own and just.
I'd
fine.
like because the Sith guy in this killed his one. I love all the like dark side characters that we meet in this season, but he killed his master, didn't he? So there was like a nice personal kind of thing in there as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot all about it. Yeah.
GP, and you want to add before we go to the next one?
Everything Pete said.
I didn't hear what
No.
Pete said, so if you could repeat it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I love the final five. Now she comes to realize you have to have balance, but I like the playoff between the two characters as well. The young girl and the Jedi.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really good. But yeah, it's another great episode.
He has like a chain whip lightsaber as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. I'd like to see that.
There's one thing about these episodes. If you go back to like season one, they had really weird like lightsabers.
Efren
Yeah.
knows what I'm on about.
It's the two sisters from the Ahsoka arc in the final season, isn't it?
It's
Have
one
it?
of the final seasons. Yeah.
It's the final
five.
season, I believe, the one with two sisters.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
they
so
go.
the final
It's yeah, I won't spoil it for you, but it ties
Please
in
don't.
obviously to Rebels.
Ahsoka survives anyway, I'm assuming. So.
Oh yeah. Ahsoka survives, yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's Journey to the Dark Head. The Spy Dancer. I loved this one. I thought it had like a very Inglorious Bastards kind of like tone to it. And, like obviously this is a French studio, so there's like a World War II, a Nazi occupied France kind of element to this, and yeah, the whole like distracting the Imperials when they're secretly doing spy stuff. I think that's a thing that like they did in the Moulin Rouge in World War II as well. Visually, I thought it looked great, and like I thought it was very kind of mesmerizing, the dancing in it as well. Some really good twists as well. Pete, start with you. What did you think of this one?
I think this is in certainly my top two. I love this episode. I really enjoy Star Wars when we look at how the big events are impacting on normal people and everybody else. I'm a bit sick of seeing people with lightsabers fighting at time. I think this is probably why I enjoyed Andor as a series so much. I like that kind of, that side of things. And this played to all my kind of favorite things, spy drama, all that kind of stuff. And also, it was beautiful, the animation style and everything, but it's friggin' heartbreaking as well. The whole stolen child kind of thing, and raised in the ways of the Empire and stuff, stolen from his mother, was just I thought it was beautifully done. This is one of the ones where I think all of the episodes up till now I've been satisfied to end it on that story. This is the one where I thought, actually, do you know what? I want this. I want more. I want what's next.
I'm on the exact same page. A lot of people are saying that they want a continuation of this specific story.
Yeah.
It just leaves it on that kind of cliffhanger. GP.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. With this one, I laid down on the couch and went on my phone.
He forgot.
No class whatsoever.
Seriously, just it brought the shite out of us. I can't even remember what happens in it.
Great, Simon. Anything? Go on.
I'm with Peter. I did watch, like, I am glued to these sort of things, so I do enjoy them. I have to say the start didn't quite grasp me. I did like how seeing all the stormtroopers going into this sort of like, is it like a nightclub type bar-esque thing?
Yeah, like a
and I love what I love about all these things are the heart feel endings, basically, and they're just all different, and heart feel endings, they're just different emotions, and they just bring a different side of Star Wars to us. So
because there's like one stormtrooper in it that has like he looks a bit like the main one in this. So when it had the flashback to the sun, I thought that was going to be him. Yeah. So I really didn't see it coming that it was this Imperial. I like the way, because like kind of Imperials are sort of bigoted against like alien species. He hides, like he puts the cap on to hide his horns, and he has the eye patch so you don't see his different colored eyes. I thought that was really clever. Absolutely love this one, and I'd love to see a continuation. Anyone wants to add?
Yeah, just for you, James. I'll go back and watch it. Actually, that's where it lost us when the stormtroopers were going into the place. That's
The
when I
beginning.
switched off.
That's the
Yeah,
start.
right at
That's
the
the
beginning.
start. That's how
Yeah,
it starts.
yeah,
You missed the whole story. yeah,
Yeah.
no, like there's some good, like really great animation. I think really good like twist in it as well. So yeah, this would be my top 3 of the season. I would think.
It is worth seriously. It is worth a watch, GP.
yeah. I'll go back and watch it
Should do.
just for you.
So the Bandits of Golak. Start with Simon. What did you think of this one? We'll start with you.
This I sort of do like a GP, and I sort of faded in and out of it. Like it was my least favorite out of the lot. I do like the animation. It was good. It was good to see an Inquisitor in it, rather and that they're chasing and still chasing force sensitive kids and things like that. I think there was still a bit of like the punk robot one. The girl was a bit of an annoyance to me, so that's why I sort of switched off.
All kids are annoying, Simon.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's why I don't have kids.
Never do, please.
yeah. GP.
I completely forgot about this one. To be fair, I'm trying to think back on it. Right, gotta come back to us.
So it's the Indian one.
Yeah, I know it's the
Very,
Indian one.
very
Yeah, I
Indian
forgot all about
style.
it.
So it has a train sequence, like they're on the train.
That's right. Yes.
She
I can't remember what happens.
grabs the flute, and then the stormtroopers go after her. And
Keep going through the episode. It's reminding us.
I'm not sure. I'm not.
Then they find a sort of desert,
Simon?
sort of swirly wind thing, and
Swirly
then-
wind.
Yeah,
That was spot on. Magic with the words.
Yeah. Brilliant episode. I love the swirly wind bit. The bit on the train.
You must remember the Inquisitor and the lightsaber fight at the end, though. Surely.
and the old granny with the 2 lightsabers.
And the 2 granny with the.
The 2, no, one
Yeah,
granny. with
remember
two
it all. I
lightsabers.
can't remember it. No.
Okay, Peter, class this up a little bit. Like, what do you think of this one?
I'm loving that I'm the Star Wars expert on this panel.
I know.
Bullshit, wasn't it? Yeah, this was crap. I didn't enjoy this one at all. The lightsaber fight at the end was good. I liked the old lady, as Simon puts her. I didn't enjoy the train bit with the flute or whatever it was. I didn't like the animation style on this, I have to say. I know Simon did, but I don't know. It felt, for me, this animation style felt very old school. It felt like something I'd watched 10, 15 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
It's funny you say, because
like
I think this is like animation style. It's the closest to the Clone Wars Rebel style.
Yeah.
Like this looks like it could be like it's maybe a slightly bigger budget version of that animation. So yeah, interesting that you said that.
I mean, sadly, because the story was nice in terms of, trying to get the young girl to safety and stuff. I did find it very irritating. I don't know. I think in compared to the other episodes, this one's the weakest of this season, I think, for me.
Yeah. This is one of my favorites, actually. I love this one, and I think honestly the first couple of minutes I wasn't really digging it. On the train, and then you realize she's force sensitive, and I literally gasped. And then the stormtrooper is told about it, and everyone's gathered around. And I feel like the tension built really well. Just seeing this planet with this Indian cultural aesthetic to it, I thought was really cool to see. And this Inquisitor character, I absolutely love. I thought he was really menacing and intimidating and awesome design. The old lady pulling out the 2 lightsabers, I didn't see that coming either. That was great. Cool. And a nice kind of heartfelt goodbye at the end of you're going off to a better life, and she leaves him the flute. I thought that was really beautiful as well. So I put this up there, in the higher tier of this. If not, it's in contender for my favorite one actually.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, honestly, yeah. So
just for you, James, I'll go back and watch it.
Are you going to say that about album?
Once you've watched them, GP, should we do a show about them, do you think?
I think we should, mate. Yeah. Good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, that's Bandits of Golak. The Pit. So this one, it's interesting about this one. It's American So it's like a collaboration between a Japanese animation studio, but the story and narrative are from Lucasfilm.
Lucasfilms. Yeah.
So it's an American, like it's the American one, really.
Well,
Simon,
Japanese
do you wanna-
American. This is one of my favorite ones, just purely because it just shows you like how ruthless the Empire are in every sort of world, trying to find kyber crystals and everything. So, and obviously it was quite dark, really, at one point, like when he's climbing the pit, and then to get out the pit, and then they sort of throw him back out, and he dies, and she sees him die in front of him, and I was like, whoa, actually this is a bit shocking. And then obviously then there was a nice light of it where they're just sort of chanting to let people know that they're there. So yeah.
And what did you think of that, the chanting thing?
Yeah, it was an unusual off take. At one point I just thought the Empire would just just
Shoot
bomb
them.
them or something, like shoot them,
Yeah.
But it's good to see that actually the city will, help as well. So
Simon, can you do the chant?
I can't remember the chant.
What
We
was it?
are
We
here,
are-
was it? Or the
Yeah,
light.
something like that.
Walking
Follow
in
the light. Was it? Yeah,
Follow the light. Yeah, that's
the
it.
light. Follow the light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, what do you think of the pit?
I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really good. As Simon's just said, I wasn't expecting this to be as dark as it got. I still thought when they threw him off the edge, or something will happen, he'll get caught.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I wasn't expecting. So when he actually hit the button and you saw that, I was like, oh,
The main character.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, as Simon says, it doesn't make any sense in terms of I can't quite understand why the Empire left them in the pit. Surely they would have just buried them or killed them all or whatever. But I don't know. But no, I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was a different story to what we usually get from Star Wars. It was a very personal, people-driven story. So yeah, enjoyed
a bit of Andor, where they're putting him in the prison camp.
Yeah.
But it is like I know, like the animation. It's like they sent it overseas to be animated by a Japanese studio, but like it's I think it's American in the tone of it because it's a riff on slavery. Like it's very much a black creative team that worked on this one. David Diggs actually did the voice of the main guy, so he's Sebastian in The Little Mermaid now, new one.
Right.
But he's also playing the Thing apparently.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so he's from Hamilton anyway, but he's the main character. So that was another surprise. But yeah, well, how dare you?
Every show, James, you have to mention Hamilton.
Hamilton. I mean, it's a part of my life, man. It's
I'm with James on Hamilton at the moment.
Alexander Hamilton. GP. Any thoughts?
Yeah.
Did you watch this one?
I did watch this one.
Yeah, you weren't on your phone or anything?
No, I did definitely watch this one. Yeah. I just like the animation style, the depth of the priority the Empire goes to with these people is absolutely crazy. Even when the lad escapes the pit and he gets into the city, how everybody's underfoot by the Empire that they won't help him there and then.
Yeah.
And he's shouting for help, and that really gets you.
But it's nice, like at the end when they stand up to them. And when you do help, it's just kind of humanity is really is good.
Yeah, shines through sort of thing. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, no, I definitely. Again, first few minutes, I wasn't really feeling it, but I think as it went, I really, really took it. Love a stormtrooper wearing a cape. I just love that aesthetic. So that was a cool one. It's a really cool command.
One thing that I really liked about it is while they're digging, the city's getting built around them.
Yeah, that fast shot of the fish and bringing all the kyber to the city was really cool. And again, it ends with the kind of this little girl might be force sensitive, where she has the kyber crystal and it turns blue and in her hand it's floating. So yeah, it's a cool one. So yeah, I like this one a lot anyway. And the final one, Ow's song. GP, start with you.
Yeah, I watched this one.
You did?
I did. I like how the characters look like they were all knitted and everything.
Yeah, they did 3D scans.
It was really crazy animation style.
Yeah, very unique looking, definitely.
Yeah, mind blown. But yeah, another great episode. They end up with, I thought, how they're trying to how they collect the kyber crystals, and he fixes them or something. Is that right?
So they're
I
all
remember.
corrupt. They've all been bled.
That's
So they're all
right, yes.
corrupted. And her voice is like capable of restoring them, but they don't know that. They just know it like disrupts them somehow.
That's right.
But it's this like mining town that mines them and then restores them, like rulingly.
Yeah.
It was a cool one.
And she's another one that goes off with a Jedi.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that way.
Yeah.
She says bye to her dad and goes out. But I think like this one
Yeah.
implies more that like she'll come back. Like she's not saying bye forever. Like I think this
Yeah.
Jedi has a relationship with this community, so she's not saying bye forever.
No.
Yeah. Simon.
This one I didn't gel with as much, purely because I've always thought when you get a kyber crystal, it's sort of found through a Jedi. Like they have to do a task to grab that kyber crystal, and the fact that there's tons of them under the ground, like a mining area. I know they're corrupted ones, but now, like with her song, she's just uncorrupted them. That means everyone's got bloody lightsabers everywhere.
That is the concept of the episode.
I know.
So, like Ilum is a planet that's rich with kyber crystals. It's not a unique thing to this world. Like and it's a spiritual thing for Jedi to go and find their own one. Yeah. I don't think these are going to be sold to Jedi, or they could be used for other things. Like I think kyber.
Yeah.
That's going to buy a kyber.
Yeah. Pete.
I love this episode. I love the art style. I love the story. I really, we've said a lot all the way through this about how the little kids are irritating and annoying. I absolutely loved her. I thought she was great. Yeah, so no, that's one of my favorite episodes. Really enjoyed it. I thought the animation was beautiful. Really nice.
I wasn't crazy about this one. It was a bit too cutesy for me. I felt like I don't know. I do think it looks beautiful. Like there's some shots that were just jaw dropping, and the kind of scanning the puppet, like there's the little bits of felt on it and everything, looked really cool as well. But I don't know. It just like it was felt a little underwhelming compared to like some of the high notes that this season has hit. So maybe that's just a result of putting it at the end. Like a good, but not like amazing. Like I would, if I'm doing a season rewatch, I'll watch it again. Like not bother, but. Yeah, it wouldn't be in my top anyway. Any last thoughts, guys, on this one? Movie. So, just the season as a whole. What did you just like overall? What are your kind of thoughts on this one, and what would you like to maybe see going forward? Because the first season was Japanese, second one was international. Like, what do you do next? Do you do like studios coming back and doing continuations, or like just another set of international studios? What would you like to see, Pete?
I really enjoyed this season. I think overall, the vast majority of the episodes were good TV. I think it's far superior to the first season. In terms of what I want to see in the future, I don't know that I want to see them go back and kind of continue the stories apart from one episode. Yeah. I think the enjoyment of this for me is the variety and the variation between each episodes. So I'd like to see that continue. Just keep doing the same as this season for me.
Yeah. What was your favorite of the Jab one?
That's a hard one, but because I do like the Wallace and Gromit episode because it was just genuinely good fun. But in terms of, was season one the one where they had the it must have been because I haven't gone through it. The one where the guys went to get to meet the robot thing, and it turned out that everybody was Sith and they were trapping Jedis.
Yeah.
Is that season one, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was probably my favorite episode in that season. In this one, in terms of battles, I think I like that episode where they're on the circle thing and there's the two heads.
Yeah.
That was yeah.
Okay. GP?
Yeah, I'd like to see them go out to a bunch of different studios again, different stories. Because that's a good thing about this one. It gives you, it's not the same Star Wars. And so you get a good variety of stories. Favorite story? Oof. I go for the Wallace and Gromit one because it's so fun.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's fair. Yeah, absolutely. And Simon?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. There's all sorts they could do. Really, like you could get I don't know, all the studios to like pick out like a random episode to carry on their art style or something like that. So You know, there's all sorts you could do. I'd like to sort of see more Star Wars sort of canon sort of events and things. So rather than like what we've always seen now we've seen a lot of people with force sensitivity, and the first season was a lot of Jedi lightsaber fighting. What will season 3 bring? So
I think we will see, like, down the road, references to planets and maybe characters that are featured in this, like a little, like, oh, a version of this is canon, you know. That's going to happen, yeah.
You know how like the Animatrix introduced how the Matrix started and things like that.
Yeah.
Something like that would be really nice.
Yeah, like, even a season that's like all of this is canon, like definitely 100%. That would be cool.
Yeah.
If that was your favorite one, Japan?
The same as Peter, The Journey to the Dark Head.
Yeah,
you know, that one. So,
okay. Yeah. GP, did I ask you your favorite?
Yeah, I told you it was the most.
Sorry, the Hardman one. Sorry. Apologies, my bad. I'm having a really tough. I was just making sure. I'm having a really tough time picking. Bandit Skullrock, I think it might be my favorite. Like I had just that Inquisitor villain, but like Spy Dancer was great as well. So yeah, one of them. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I like Spy Dancer. That's my second favorite, I think.
Tough one, yeah.
Mine's second would be the Pit, and then Spy Dancer.
Yeah,
mine would be the cave. There you go.
Thanks, guys. All right, so that's Visions over with. So we are on to the Jedi Survivor. GP, you did play it, or did you play it, or watch a playthrough?
I watched the walkthrough. I watched full 30 hours.
I'm the only one that's played this thing.
I don't have a fucking next gen console, so I kind of.
All right, but was yours like a condensed one, or was it an actual full playthrough of the game?
Full playthrough.
Okay, so
30 hour plus.
On some of the
30 hours.
It's about
30 hours.
Yeah.
You've watched 30 hours of people playing the game.
Plus. Yeah.
Plus.
Simon couldn't even manage 3, but you've watched 30 hours.
and there's like tiny bit of side stuff in it as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. Side quests and bounties and all that. I pause every 5 minutes to change my jacket and my shoes. You know, so
why?
It's just a compulsion thing. I just do it all the time. Like I'll like if I go to like a cold planet, I need to wear like a furry thing. You know, like to be warm.
Goes to a hot planet, that's the way shorts.
Well, I wear the tank top when I'm in the lava section. You know. Anyway, we'll get into the game. So I guess I'll.
Thing.
It's not. It's a thing. I mean, it's immersive.
Got to change clothes for every planet I visit.
I do it constantly. Like it's really annoying, or like I'll just like 5 minutes later.
Do you give him a new haircut as well?
No, that's stupid, Simon. Unless I'm on Jedi, and then I give him the like hermit look. Anyway, I'll talk a bit about gameplay. GP has seen a lot of gameplay, so he can comment maybe a little bit, and then we'll get into the story. But there's we've all of us have played the first one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Peter, you actually played it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Couple of years. It's a good few years ago. Thomas got it for Christmas.
Yeah,
I played it.
What did you think of it before we talk about this?
I really enjoyed it. It's a kind of game I normally like to play. It's just I didn't have the time to kind of continue on with it, if you know what I mean. But no, I enjoyed it. I don't know that I got very far with it. I seem to remember climbing up the sides of buildings and things like that. But yeah, really enjoyed it. It was good.
There's a few new wrinkles to combat in this one anyway. In the first one, there's 2 stances. There's like single blade and double blade. Yeah. And then there's like a couple of moves that you can use, like you break it in half and use like 2 swords. So now they're all separate stances. So you have like a blaster stance, so you have the lightsaber in one hand and like your gun in the other, and then there's the cross guards, and that's like a Kylo Ren style. Yeah. So like like double bladed is good for like large rooms, lots of enemies around you. You can go between them really quickly. Cross guard is like big and heavy with like high damage.
Yeah, it's like you're going tanky.
Exactly, yeah. They've really deepened the combat quite a lot. Like it's really impressive, and I kind of stuck. I stuck to in the comfort zone. I went between like single, dual, and double. But I'm gonna go into New Gun Plus with blaster and crossguard and give them a go.
See, I don't like the blaster stance.
Why not?
I don't know. I just don't like it.
Don't like seeing a Jedi.
Like green in that one.
It's just a different.
You can change the color of your blade as you go.
Yeah, you can make it whatever you want. We'll get into customization in a minute anyway, but yeah, your lightsaber is fine. My one's green my entire playthrough.
The crossguard looks really like clunky to use. To be fair,
yeah, I mean it's a bit heavy. I
you have
think
to
it's
be
good
right.
for like
You have to be right on them, don't you?
yeah, it's good for like big enemies like your Octobogdos or Rancors or whatever. I think it's kind of the main thing you'd use it for. But yeah, no, I'm really impressed with like how they handle combat in this one. Like it does. I don't think we'll get a better lightsaber combat system ever. You know, this should be like how you handle that. I think it's similar to like web swinging in games. Like you look at Spider-Man 2 and that's what you do. I think this is
Unleashed combat system.
It's very kind of loose, that one. Like it's not. It's floaty,
right.
Whereas this one, like especially in this one, because when you can cut like limbs off of like stormtroopers and stuff, like it feels much more real.
But he can't do force electricity, can he?
Well, no, he's not. Well, maybe in the next one.
Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get the story thing, Simon. We'll get to that later.
I'll just say though, James, if they do bring another game out, they can't expand on the stances any more than that, though, can they? That's
I mean, you might go crazy and do the chain whip one or an Inquisitor blade.
That'd just be ridiculous.
Can fly. I mean, it'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be cool. Yeah.
You just add more moves, or other weapons, maybe like kind of vibro blades and electro staffs and stuff. You could do if you wanted to. We'll see. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So just a bit about exploration in the game. Like this is what I really think these games nail, just like the idea of landing on a Star Wars planet and just like going forward and what's around this corner and finding this big enemy, and it's just really like magical. Like I love doing it. So we'll go through kind of some of the planets. Kobo is like the main planet. Interesting how like it's the only Star Wars planet I can think of that has like different environments. Like there's like a lava kind of area, there's like a swamp, and then you have like this kind of in the mountains like a tower, and it's really like it's beautiful and like massive. Like it is on the verge of being open world. It's not quite, but really really impressive, and like a lot of the kind of fauna in it was really cool to see. This big kind of dinosaur looking thing that you can like talk to and help, like not literally talk to, but like you do like you connect with it and it helps you then.
There's like a giant bird thing you have to help out as well. Once you help
exactly. On that's on Kobo as well, isn't it? That's flying flying around. Yeah, exactly. That was a cool one as well. So like you really feel kind of at one with like nature in this game. It was really cool thing. Some of the kind of enemies on Kobo, there's a Rancor. There's a few Rancors I think you find on Kobo. That was a really cool fight. Kind of scary. I did send you a video, didn't I, when I first fought it, and it just ripped me in half, like basically. So like I just got wrecked immediately. Wrecked immediately.
And I think, I mean, I'm sure you're going to touch on it in a bit, James, but just looking at the graphics on that, it's stunning, really.
It's not like the most impressive game graphically I've ever played. But like it's more the art direction is stunning.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know if they've patched it now, but a lot of people are complaining about the frame rate on it.
It dips sometimes. Crashing. It does. Yeah, it kind of chugs along a little bit. And then I've had like probably maybe 5 crashes, like maybe 6, and like it's frustrating because you don't.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, well, over 40 hours though, like it's not terrible.
Oh, you can burn hours or something. Okay.
Yeah, but it's annoying. It's annoying because I have like gotten stuck in walls and had to restart, and I lose like 10 minutes of progress. So that's really annoying, Or like there was one time where the game should have saved and didn't, and then like it undid the last like half hour. And I was like, oh, and I couldn't remember what collectibles I'd gotten or anything like that. So that was like a bit.
Jesus.
Yeah, Rancor fight was a great one. One that I really didn't see coming and really pissed me off though was there's a fucking Octobogdo in this game. Now, Octobogdo is like a kind of frog monster you fight really early on in the first game, and it's like the first like difficult thing you have to do. So a lot of people hate this creature. So it's just like, surprise, here's another one that they throw it at you, and it's like, oh my god, I have to do this again. And like I think 10 times or something I had to fight the thing. eventually beat. Oh, no, sorry, I turned the difficulty down to kill it. I know. I got that annoyed, but you know what? Karma got back at me because sure enough, later on, there's a section where you have to fight fucking 2 of them. So I've decided I'm not gonna cheat at this one. I haven't finished. I haven't done this part yet.
What's so difficult about them? Is it when they charge, or
no? There's one specific move. It's a one-hit kill, and it's like it shoots its tongue, so it gets a lot of distance, and it like pulls you in and bites on you and kills you immediately, no matter what. Like so. That move Like I the amount of time I've killed one and like gotten down to 2 hits on the last one, and then just it does the bloody tongue move and kills me. So yeah, that's really annoying.
Death by tongue.
Yeah. It's really, they had to do it. I'm 100% in the next game there'll be a three of them going around. Yeah,
Just to annoy you.
yeah. Jeddah was nightmare fuel. So Peter, this is a planet. It's in Rogue One. It's like so, I don't know if you remember Saul Guerrera, Forrest Whitaker's characters there. There's like a holy city, and I think they test the Death Star on it. So they blow up the whole city. So like, yeah, it's cool. Like, there's a nice mix of like in the first game there was anyway. This one less so. Nice mix of like new planets with like ones we've seen in Clone Wars or the movies. But like when you get there, you can't walk on the sand because there's these bugs just kill you immediately. So you have like if you land on the sand, you have like 5 seconds to get off of it. It's just really anxiety inducing. So I didn't, and I've just avoided this planet like since. So like I've only done like 80% of it. There's some extra stuff I haven't I just don't want to go back and do because it's really annoying.
For shame on you, James.
Yeah. Hi Connie, how's it going? Thanks for joining. But it was really cool to see. I think like more of Jeddah, and it tied the story really well as well. But yeah, the Scorpion things, like as scary as they were, it was a cool fight with them. I think so. Yeah, they were good. I haven't played any of it. Yeah, nobody has apparently.
Just James.
Not even my panel. Yeah. Coruscant. So this gave me sort of. But this is where the opening sequence takes place, and you like do most of it. It's not really a full level. Like you do most of it in that opening sequence. Gave me kind of Star Wars 1313 vibes. GP, I don't know if you're familiar with 1313 or Simon.
No.
You don't know? So it's like a cancelled like Boba Fett game, and it's like took place in Coruscant, and there's like a tech demo of it. But like it look, it's Coruscant at night, and it's like underworld. It's very cool. So like this gave me vibes of that. Peter, what do you think?
Sorry, James. I was just going to say, here's a thing for some DLC for this, because Cal turns up with a new team. Because this is right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he has his new crew.
I'd love to see a DLC with him going about with that team. With the twins.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I thought they were quite really likable. Cool. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah. Pete, what did you think of this opening sequence on Coruscant?
Great, loved it. Gets you straight into the action. And like JP, because I'm not that familiar with the previous game, I just assumed these were already existing characters, like the twins and whatnot. And like I like that.
No, they're new. Yeah, they met them. Yeah. They met them between games.
Yeah, very cool.
It was cool. I didn't see it coming. That I thought you genuinely being captured. Like I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
That's cool. Simon, do you like the opening?
Yeah, I did actually, and seeing the senator and things like that. That senator was very menacing, really. He had that menacing look.
Yeah.
What creature? What? Sorry, race is he? Sorry.
Powan, so the Grand Inquisitor species, and there's one of them in Revenge of the Sith as well. Interestingly, that senator character is in the reveal trailer, and like it implied in that trailer that he's like the main villain. So I didn't see it coming that he dies so quickly. Yeah. Yeah, I thought he was very cool, and like it's sort of shame he dies.
In the reveal, wearing red though, and he was wearing something completely different in this, or is that
possibly? I don't know. I haven't watched the reveal trailer in a while, so yeah.
It's all Simon's watched.
Yeah. It's just gossip, but very cool. Like it's cool to see Coruscant in the game anyway. Like it's one of my favorite Star Wars planets. So yeah, awesome. The Shattered Moon is just one of the moons of Kobo. It's basically just like an old like space station that you're exploring, but like some really beautiful scenery in it. I think you're mostly fighting like the kind of bounty hunter guys in this, but yeah, it was a cool level anyway. This Nexus something, but it's an ISS or ISB station. So Peter, these are the ones in Andor. Yeah. So like that's that group of people anyway. But it was cool. Yeah, you need it, I think, in a Star Wars game, like a Imperial base to like sneak into. Yeah. So like it's a cool sequence here. This is of course where we meet Rick, the door technician. This wasn't in your playthrough, Peter, was it?
No, I don't remember this.
No, so this it's one of the funniest bits of the game. So you're walking down the hall, and this guy comes out, and he's just a normal scout trooper, and he's just like, Jedi, it's time to die, and he charges at you, And you just,
I
I
like
just
how
threw
the-
my lightsaber and it killed him immediately.
Like gonna give him a boss bar and all, so you think
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
facing
exactly.
the
Yeah,
boss.
and it's like you have defeated Rick the Door Technician. It's a really funny gag. So like I enjoyed this one. Yeah, that's the one. And then Tanalor. We'll talk a bit more about Tanalor's relevance to the plot later, but it's not really a level. Like it's only kind of like 2 bits. There's no enemies. There's nothing to collect really in it. Like a couple of things to scan, but like it's not like a proper level. And I was a bit disappointed when you're building this thing up the whole game that you don't get to do anything there. It was beautiful to see though. Like I think the kind of blue water with the purple plants, like it was really cool looking at. I'm sure we'll see more of this in a future game. But yeah, as a level, I think it was a bit disappointing. So that's all the gameplay stuff I'm going to talk about anyway. So we'll move on to the story. So we'll go just character by character and kind of talk about their big moments. But
Can I just ask?
Yes.
From the gameplay side of things, obviously the first one you sort of unlock his abilities and build him up.
Yeah.
From this one, how does it differ?
You have basically everything that you ended the last game with, and it just adds on top of that. So
what do you add on to it though?
There's like a grappling hook you get later on. There's like a dash move that lets you go through like force fields. You know, you have
different stances.
New skills tree for all your different stances. Okay. Yeah, so like you're just leveling up more and more. Like it's
you get the lightsaber parts to build the lightsabers and things like that. So yeah,
exactly, those collectibles and costumes and facial hair. And
yeah, I just didn't know how it built from the first one. From obviously with the first one you leveled up. With this one, I didn't know how the levelings work.
Yeah, I think the only thing that like you notice is like your stims, like your health things. You have to you only start with the bottom number again, and you have to get them up. But the rest of it is basically where you left off in the last one. So yeah, It's impressive because a lot of games will just take that shit off you. So it's nice that you don't have to
again.
Yeah, you don't have to re-earn everything again. Like it was.
You can't forget how to be a Jedi, really, can you?
Exactly.
That's how I'm playing Zelda, and that's what they've basically done. In the story at the start, they've like hurt Link, and you start again with your like 0 bloody hearts. You don't have all your hearts. You got to build your stamina up, your hearts again, doing the shrines and everything. So
yeah, that's
terrible.
Annoying.
It's like they're trying to make the game hard for you, Simon, or something.
I know.
Yeah. It's almost like it's supposed to be a challenge or something. I don't know.
I know.
Anyway,
Bastards.
Peter, start with you because I know I don't know if you watched like a summary of the first game before watching the cutscenes, or you just jumped right into this one now?
No, I just jumped straight into it. I know you're a big fan of him and things like that, and I love the fact that obviously he's modelled on me when I was younger. I'm a big fan of this actor from Gotham.
Yeah.
In terms of the game, I love him. I think he's a brilliant character. The actor, how can I put it? He's got a very miserable face a lot of the time in Gotham and in the game.
He's always miserable before. Though,
yeah, he's always looking like he's absolutely sick of his life, pissed off. But it works for the game. I watched as you instructed. I did my homework. I watched 3.5 hours of the stuff, and I was absolutely invested in him as a character. I want to see where he goes from here. I'd love to see him in a movie. I would watch a movie about this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed him, and I thought he was very intriguing. I'm not sure where he stands, and I'm sure you'll touch on it later on. There's times when I thought, oh, he's got the potential to stray onto the dark side here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I meant to think that or if that's intentional or what, but yeah, I really enjoyed him. It has made us want to go back and find out more from the first game, as well.
Yeah, I love Cal in the first game, but this one like took it to another level. Like he's a little bit not kiddie, but like he's very not like a bit naive and a bit word for it. Yeah, but he's like a badass in this one. He's like walking in like Han Solo, just like he can sort out whatever problem you got. Like he's wisecracking and everything. I just thought it was such an upgrade to him. Like nothing sticks out to me there's nothing I dislike about this guy in this game. So I love him. We'll talk about his kind of big moments next, but I love him to bits. One of my favorite Star Wars characters. GP.
Yeah, I was absolute fan of Cal from the first game. It's great to see him transition into a more trying to think of the words now.
Mature.
Yeah, more mature in this one. Thank you. No,
Very
it's great to see. It's great to see his character develop more in this.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch a Cal TV series.
But
Yeah.
the good thing about Cat, like modeling him after the actor, is that you have that option. You know, I'm sure
exactly.
we will see him in live action at some stage down the road. Who knows and what?
I hope so.
Yeah. Simon, what do you think of Cal in this storyline?
Yeah, I think he was great. Like he actually, like you were saying, he gives me vibes of Anakin Skywalker. You know, that look, miserable look, and then you know,
I think that's just because
I don't think he looks miserable.
Down.
He does.
No, I agree with Simon. Yeah, I see that straight away, Simon.
Yeah.
Look at his miserable face there.
Miserable face, and then he gets angry, and then could turn to the dark side.
Well, there you go. It is an element to be like the main element of his story, and it's a thing that every Jedi I think has to come to terms with is you know that temptation of the dark side. But he really leans into it, and like even to the degree there's a gameplay mechanic of like using the dark side and like it's boost your damage and stuff, which I'm like, ooh, this is like stepping over.
How many times did you use that, James?
A lot. Anytime
A lot.
the meter goes up, you know, like yeah, but like even like when he starts like force choking that the ISB guy and ruthlessly kills the villain of the game as well. Like so, it's pretty. I like this. Like I like that's not. Did you what?
Two villains of the game, didn't he? Really? So
3 because he kills the Ninth Sister at the beginning as well. And that one's a bit more like I'm releasing you kind of thing, like a bit more wise Jedi. But like later on, it feels a bit more like you didn't need to do that. But I love this. I love this like storyline they're dangling in front of us, and it's nice. It's not just the typical Jedi is good. You know, I like how he is stepping that far, and it's very reflective of Anakin.
So James, you've just said how much you love the character. If in the third game they do pull that and we get a switch to Sith, how's that going to make you feel?
I'd be all for it. Like I think it'd be, you know, if it's done well, I think they've set it up very well. Like, you know, it's not like he's good 1 second and bad the next. I think they're gradually doing it. It makes sense, and I think for a story it makes sense as well. Like as we are at this point.
I think if we do a third game, it'd be more like a grey Jedi, where he's just treading the line between light and dark, so you can get both sets of powers. Yeah,
well, I mean, we'll talk about this later because I have what might happen next slide. Anyway, we'll come back to that.
Got 900 slides to get through here.
Yeah. Hey, I'm thorough, man. That's a good thing.
You're right.
Customization, I was absolutely blown away with. I thought it was like, it's I'm looking at your face, Peter.
Is that a fucking mullet?
James, which one did you go for?
Me, the top left is how I have them look usually. It's like it's not the standard one. It's like just a bit shorter and spiky at the top.
Go Obi-Wan full beard.
I do when I'm on Jedi, just because it's like a bit.
I'm just thinking what the fuck's that?
I told you to be here. Did I say he changes hairstyles as well as soon as she goes to a different planet?
I said it earlier when I go to Jedi. I embrace my Obi-Wan-ness, you know. It's amazing how like I've seen a lot of people on like Facebook groups posting like pictures of Cal, and like everyone's looks different. So everyone has like a different idea of what their Cal looks like, and I think it's a cool thing to give that option to the players.
You can change obviously the length. Can you change the color?
No,
always ginger.
I don't think you should be able to.
I feel attacked. What's the problem with that, Simon? Why do you want to change hair?
I don't know.
Justice for gingers. We need more representation in media. You know?
Justice for gingers.
Ginger Cal. There you go. Ginger Cal. Trended.
Ginger Cal.
Now, Peter has a hero he can look up to. Finally, someone who
exactly.
Yeah, who needs it. Yeah.
I only had George from Rainbow before this, and then now I've got.
But listen, it is like very deep. You can even like say if you have the like mustache, you can add stubble around it if you want to. Like I'm really impressed at how in depth they went. Even though I don't go for the hillbilly look, you know. Some people do though. If that's what you like, you know. Fair enough.
That's where I'd go.
Yeah, costumes as well. I mean, there's just tons of them, and you can change like the jacket. You can have mix and match like pants, jacket, gloves, whatever. Really in depth, and like again, it's a good incentive to explore because they're collectibles. You know, you find them as you go.
So here's the thing with the outfits for me, because like we're playing like things like Assassin's Creed and that, and just watching Ghost of Tsushima, where you get like extra abilities, like extra damage done to things for depending on what armor you got on.
Yeah.
I think that something like that in this game would have been good.
They do that in Zelda, where you have different.
Yeah,
No one's bothered about Zelda.
Ghost of
Not about
Tsushima as
Star-
well.
not
Like
about Star
I know
Wars.
what you mean. Like slots, like perk
Yeah.
slots for the.
Yeah.
There is perk slots in the game.
Oh,
not
yeah,
tied to
yeah.
the costumes. But yeah, no, I wouldn't necessarily be against it. I think like I was on a podcast a couple of weeks ago talking about the game, and someone said specifically that they're happy that that's not a feature. Like they don't want leash
Right,
kind of
right.
involved. So like I can see both sides of it. I wouldn't mind.
You
But
put
I'm not.
stuff on for the cold and winter, so it might
I
be
suppose it
good.
means like you don't have to wear. It's like, oh, I don't need to put this specific thing on. Like I can just wear what I want, and it doesn't make a difference, you know. So I think that's.
I know, but then you could do transmogging as well, though. So
But then it's just pointless, isn't it?
no.
All right,
Oh, we're still talking about these clothes. Oh,
Yeah.
Is that
We are.
right, okay.
and all right, very very quickly. It even extends your lightsaber. You can change how it looks. Guns, you can change like the barrel, the handle, the trigger, and everything. BD, lots of different like customization for him. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's very very in depth and really impressive. So yeah, I love that.
Just to go back.
Yep.
Stupid question. Even if you were to mod your character and have him with the ridiculous goatee and bouffant hair and all the rest of it, in the cutscenes he still goes back to standard Cal that we've seen, doesn't he?
No.
No.
So if I put a beard on him, in all the videos that I've watched, you'll have a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how.
Oh yeah, no, because it's in in-game cutscenes. So like the graphics are it's not pre-rendered. Like it'll change.
Okay.
So like your costumes, like even here you see different costumes, different hairstyles in the
Yeah.
cutscenes. I think Merrin doesn't bang them if you wear a mullet. I'm assuming.
Obviously not. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine that'd be great.
She's
Yeah,
a smart girl.
Yeah. Merrin, I think one of the standout characters of this series. Like I absolutely
Yeah.
adore
One of
adore
my
her.
favorites.
Like, she's fantastic. I think such a
What was that,
fascinating
Sam?
backstory.
You wouldn't
One
mind
of
a
my
bit.
favorites. Wouldn't mind a bit.
I will not have this kind of filth talked about, Merrin. on
Hey,
my-
you
on my
told us
channel.
about your steamy Star Wars book.
Yeah, well, that's but I hang on. I
He's backtracking now.
She gets down and dirty in the book anyway.
Okay.
I am trying to get this back on track. I have
better.
found this character strange, James. So I loved her in it. Don't get us wrong. I really liked her. I like the power set and stuff like that. But having not watched the first game or whatever, I've never seen anybody in Star Wars have this kind of power. I don't think.
She's
These kind of-
Yeah, so
Yeah, she's a
Portals and
nice
stuff
sister.
like that.
she's from like you learn about them in the first game, but they're also in the Clone Wars.
In
They're
the
like
Clone Wars.
Right, okay.
they're Darth
Finish
Maul's
watching
kind
the
of.
bloody Clone Wars, all of you.
I'm
Peter.
watching it every day. I'm halfway through. I'm on the Night Sisters episodes now.
But not a power like
I'll
this
just
has
watch
never been
them.
shown in any live action movie.
Oh no,
or
it's
anything,
like it's using the Force. It's using the dark side of the Force, but it is magic effectively.
Okay, right.
So like yeah, you're bang on though. Like it's weird for someone to see this in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty cool. Like they are witches effectively.
Yeah.
I love that they didn't dance around the romance thing. They just flat out like they become a couple in it. I think that's great. I like seeing it.
Yeah.
I was really happy with that anyway. Yeah. GP, Marin, you a fan?
Oh yeah, big fan. I like the Night Sisters though.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Ventress as well, of the Clone Wars. So.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So great. She was in the first game. Yeah, that's right. So it's great to see her back. I think the romance between her and Cal really spot on. Yeah. I'd like to see how they go in the third game.
Well, the end is sort of like, oh, we're not so sure anymore because of like the direction Cal is going in. So we'll see. Hopefully,
But she
I hope
was
it works
stopping him
out.
from fully going over to the dark side as well.
Yeah. It's
See,
ironic because she uses dark side magic, like so. It's sort of an irony, but she can withstand, I guess. Turning.
Yeah.
But I love her person. Like I love how she's like on the surface very cold, but like she has a personality. Like that's just how she is. Like that's how she was raised. I think that's really great. And she tells jokes sometimes in it, and I think she's very much more humanized in this one as well. Simon, you like Marin?
Yeah, I think she's
You
great.
liked her in the story? Happy with how it went?
Yeah, I'd like how their love relationship. I actually thought she was going to die. I thought like they're
Mm.
falling in love, and I thought she was going to die. So I thought that was what would trigger him to the dark side. But because, like you said, she was holding him back. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like that could be, in the
I
next
thought
one.
that was going to be the ending. Like she'd die, and then
I feel like though that would be just doing Padme again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
if it's
he
tied
reminds me
to
of
the love
Anakin,
interest.
and
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to do the exact same thing.
yeah, I
again.
suppose. Yeah,
I theorized before that maybe like in the next one, if Cal goes dark side, we start playing as Merrin, and like you have a boss fight where you're playing as Merrin fighting Cal. I think that'd be really cool.
yeah.
Maybe we'll see that later. Who knows? But yeah, I love this character. I really want to see like a comic book series about her, like what she was doing between the games or something like that. I think it'd be
Yeah, because she was out exploring, wasn't she?
yeah, absolutely. And she's like she makes references to things she's done, so she's been up to a lot anyway. Yeah, but
Give us a
absolutely.
Merrin game.
DLC, give us DLC. That'd be great.
Yeah.
There's like a bit where you're climbing and she's like doing basically an old boy down the hallway, like fighting stormtroopers. It was so cool. Like I love it. But there's one sequence, probably my favorite sequence of the game that's kind of heavily tied to Merrin, is this like digger.
Yeah, that was amazing.
One of my favorite gameplay sequences like of all time. Very kind of Uncharted-esque. This whole cinematic sequence. Peter, did your playthrough have this?
It didn't have the full playthrough of this, but then I think you mentioned it, so I went and Googled it and watched the full thing.
Okay.
Absolutely stunning. The playthrough I initially watched just had the end battle bit where they were smashing the. I thought it looked spectacular, but it gave us anxiety as an older gentleman. The thought of playing this and having to hit all those buttons at the right points and stuff. Oh Christ!
It's amazing because it's so complex, but you just like you're so in the zone when it's on. Like you're so attentive that like the buttons just come to you naturally. Like but like just like shooting through because you're seeing like Merrin's teleportation from her perspective. Like that's what she sees. Like she's flying effectively, and like I just thought it was jaw dropping. And like I remember the biggest smile on my face watching it. Like I was like, I can't believe this is happening, and it kept going, and everything was great. Simon, did you see this sequence?
Yes, I did. It looked awesome, basically, especially at the end. It reminded me yet again of Force Unleashed, where the broken down Star Destroyer comes and he's holding it. Do you know what I mean? So, because obviously there's a part where he's holding back the robot, where she's
a little bit, that part,
So,
but like just going from like your wall running, then you slide down, then you jump, and then you portal through the thing, and you do a hop, and it's just stunning. Like one of my favorite action set pieces, like I think of all time in a game. So I absolutely love this. Seer, R.I.P. I love this character, and I think I think we don't get really enough of her in it. Like I feel like she doesn't really fully reattach with Cal before she leaves. That said, I do like the whole like she becomes kind of more attuned to the Force. Obviously, grows much more powerful. And like they tie this in with the Obi-Wan show, like the path, the hidden path, which is like the Jedi kind of relocation program that they work on. So I thought that was quite cool as well. Peter, what do you think of Seer?
I like it. So she wasn't in the first game.
She was. So she's Cal's. She like became Cal's master basically in the first one.
I really liked her. I thought she was a good character. And are you going to touch on the big fight with her later on?
Yeah, that's the next one. Yeah,
I thought that was stunning. Really nice. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. TP.
Yeah, I liked it from the original game. And they did it justice carrying over into this game.
Cool, Simon.
Shave fonts and everything.
Yeah, I'd like.
I don't want to say too much because you got the big bit coming up. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Simon.
I like how he sort of. There was one part where he's on the ship where he missed everyone, and then suddenly he's reunited sort of with everyone. So
I kind of regret not because, like I said earlier, I didn't like Jeddah, so I didn't go back to Jeddah that often. So I think I should have done. If I'd known this was going to happen, I would have done that more. But of course, we're dancing around it. Meeting she has a big fucking fight with Vader, and it's amazing. It's like one of the coolest boss fights ever. Like in the first game, Vader shows up, but like you get 2 hits at him, and like he just force grabs you, and you have to run away. Then, like he's too powerful to fight. So I like how like Seer has like risen up to his level basically, and like just getting to play as her was awesome. She has like slightly different powers, but like this is like I think probably the best Vader boss fight like ever done. Like absolutely incredible. And just like the way like she nearly beats him was great as well. I think like if not for the fact that he just like at the last second kind of got one over on it, and he stumbles away. That was great. Simon,
thing with Sia, sorry, it's thing with Sia. She has an amazing bit before the Vader fight where you first take control over her, and she's just holding like all the stormtroopers back, just going after them and taking out ATSTs.
Yeah, you're like super powerful. Yeah,
awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a nice surprise to get to play as her, but like, just Vader showing up. It's like, yes. Yeah. Simon, do you like the sequence?
Yeah. Obviously, we needed another Vader sequence. That's why they've added it in, haven't they? So from the first one to this one, she's definitely a bit more powerful. a lot more powerful. Okay. So it was good to see. So.
Yeah, there's a great line on the top right where he says, "You've grown stronger," and she says, "I've just let go of my fear." And I was like, that's so cool. Like, I love that. Yeah. And as well as that, this takes place like probably a couple of months after Obi-Wan. So this is his kind of like pick her upper, and like he's going to kill her, make himself feel better about getting whipped. So yeah, I like thinking about that
again. Basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wins in the end, but like, I suppose this would be a period that would kind of put him down on himself, wouldn't it? It's like I should really level up. Pete.
Yeah, brilliant fight. I hadn't placed the timeline, James, because one of the things I was going to say was I was surprised at how much she does fuck him up. I've always seen Darth Vader as kind of the biggest and the baddest. So to see her kind of stand up to him toe to toe was quite surprising, really, because he's literally, on fire, bits falling off, staggering away by the end of it. So she very nearly wins, which was a bit of a surprise to us.
I think that more so speaks to how powerful she's become rather than him being weaker. She's at like that Obi-Wan level,
Yeah. But yeah, very cool fight. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, I loved it. And the nice kind of wrapping up his storyline from the first game. Like, she obviously broke them out of the Inquisitorius, so he wants a bit of payback for that. So yeah, it was cool to see.
Okay.
Grease, I love this little guy. He's so good. Like, and I'm happy he's like probably the most prominent side character in the game. Like, you see him quite a lot. I love how he's just wearing this like robe, basically. Like, he's just cozy with his little chain. The robot arm is actually a nod to the book, so he loses his arm in the book. So I thought that was like I remember seeing. I was like, did he always have a robot arm? But no, it's from the book. Pete, do you like Grease?
Loved him. Couldn't place the voice for the voice actor, but I was getting very much Danny DeVito kind of vibes from the character. I just loved that kind of little funny kind of I just thought it was great. A nice bit of comedy kind of adding to it. Really enjoyed him.
Yeah, the bit where they're going to town, Laurie's like screaming and just doesn't stop us. Yeah, good comic relief. GP, you like fan of Grease?
Meh.
How dare you?
Honestly, I don't know if it's a voice actor or what, but I just don't gel with Grease.
What's about him you don't like?
I don't know. It's just something I don't like about him.
But you don't know what that thing is?
I don't.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Simon, you like Grease?
Yeah, I think he's all right. When you first meet him in the bar, he's a very friendly character and things like that. And yeah, he just adds that, like you say, Cal is a very serious character. And so he adds that funness element to him, which you need in a game. So
one element that he introduces that one of my favorite things in the game is Pylon Saloon. So I don't know, Peter, you've seen this in the game, have you?
Yeah, I've probably not seen all of it, but I've seen in that the thing you sent us. It features in that quite a bit. I like the bartender robot. Just like I love how they've managed to slip in like another kind of classic Star Wars element, which is like the cantina, and the way
you go out to the world and you find people and you bring them back, and like you can find a DJ and he'll start playing music. You can find this guy who sets up like a hollow chess table and you can play hollow chess. It was just awesome, like really good. There's an aquarium and you can there's one guy that finds fish. You put them in the aquarium, which we'll talk about in a minute because it's one of my favorites. Yeah, it's so customizable. Like, and just I spent so much time. Every time you leave and come back, everybody has a new bit of dialogue, so you go talk to them. So yeah, just walking around, chatting to people is like one of my favorite things to do in the game. So I absolutely love that. We meet. There's a few kind of characters associated with the saloon. So Z is, you meet her in the main game. So she's a High Republic era robot droid.
Yeah.
Irritating as fuck.
Yeah,
I liked her. I thought she was good. Like, she doesn't overstay her welcome, I guess.
Yeah,
I
I think
didn't
her
know
voice,
Doesn't overstay a welcome.
her voice
No.
grated on me. I just, yeah.
No, I thought
The
she was. I like the
height,
design a
isn't it?
lot. Like the kind of the head floating on it's like a magnetic thing or
Yeah.
something. It's cool. Scuba here on the right,
Scuba
like the
Steve.
best. What the best thing in the game. So he's like a little like Scottish fisherman alien dude. And you just go up and he just tells you like he's like a pirate. He just tells you these stories of like, you know, his adventures and stuff. I just absolutely love them. Like every time I see him, so he like goes in and catches fish. Like when you find him, you just speak to him and he'll like do a little flip into the water, pull a fish out, and then that goes into the aquarium. So it's a weird mechanic, but just like such a good character. And like I think this is probably the most like new characters introduced in a Star Wars thing. Like it's crazy, like the how big the cast is. Pete, did you like Scuba Steve?
I thought you'd gone mad. So I watched the 3-hour thing, and then you said I have to watch this as well. And I was like, what the shit is this? What? This is a slug in a little diving suit. It was interesting. I thought his stories were funny, but it felt quite separate because I watched the cinema version, I guess you would say. So I didn't see all the side quests and stuff.
Yeah.
This was quite out of kilt with that drama and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
But we lost GP. I've upset him. But in terms of a character and the fun of it, yeah, I thought it was good fun.
Yeah.
I could see myself, if I hadn't watched this, I could see myself going and interacting with that in the game and having a giggle and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's paced well. Like it's when you're
Yeah.
exploring, you'll just find them on every planet and like, you know, it's a fun thing. You see him in the distance. Yeah, Scuba,
Yeah.
and you walk over and chat to him. Sounds great. Simon, was Scuba in your walkthrough?
no, it wasn't in the walkthrough.
It's
I
him.
saw him, so
Yeah.
that's someone new to it. It's like just like a side add-on thing that you would see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of basically
Yeah.
collectible. Like when you find
Yeah.
them, you go over and talk to him,
Yeah.
and you get the fish thing.
Going back to the robot though, she was annoying. She reminded me of the robot in the Solo movie.
Yeah, the feminist
One-
robot.
Yeah,
The droid,
that died,
droid life robot.
Yeah,
like
that's what
droids,
she reminded
lives
me
matter,
of. So
yeah.
annoying. So annoying.
I liked her. I thought she was good.
Nah.
Fair. Turgle. This character's taking the world by storm
Is
right
it-
now.
Is that the voice actor of Invader Zim?
Yes, it is.
I was going to say because he's
Yeah.
sort of spot on like him. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's whoever that. Yeah. I love him. I love how pathetic he is. Like he's just so
Pathetic.
pathetically
He
endearing.
dies,
Like,
doesn't he,
yes.
at the start.
No, yeah, he nearly dies. He nearly
Yeah.
dies. Every time you talk to him, he just tells you about something stupid he did that he nearly got killed for, or how much trouble he's in. Like it's really funny. Like
He's
I
the
wanna
Jar
see this-
Jar Binks of this game.
but he's well received. Like, yeah, I think that is a good comparison. Definitely. Like, I want to see him and stuff. Like, I want to see give him a little cameo in Mando or something, or you know, something down the road. I loved him. And then this is just like a chiss dude that's at the bar called Moran. He's like a former smuggler, very kind of cold, but I don't know. I find his story really interesting. I think he mentions like he had a husband or a partner or something that like. And they had a falling out, but it was a good story. Like I liked talking to him.
He wasn't in any of the cutscenes I watched. Didn't
No.
see him.
No, he's Thrawn's species.
Okay.
Just,
Ah,
so, yeah, so
interesting.
see him. Yeah. So yeah, fantastic. Like this isn't even like this is like a scratch the surface of all the
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
characters in this game. So yeah, fantastic like cast of characters. So one I obviously this is probably the most prominent one is Cage Vanda, who is like this bounty hunter lady. And she gives you bounties, so there's like a bounty hunting mini game where she'll give you one and you go and find them on the map and take them out, and it's cool.
You're back in the room, James. You're back.
What did you hear?
Remnants tonight, I love them.
You went. She's a cool character. Dip, and then you stopped.
Yeah.
GP, did you see how the story wraps up?
I did, yes. Yeah, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, so like you finish
one
the
thing is
bounties
when
and she turns on you, tries to
she
take
double
you on.
crosses. You always have to have a double cross
Yeah.
somewhere in these stories. But Boba Fett turning up, thought was amazing. Did you go back and keep talking to him?
Yeah,
because you can talk to him multiple times.
Yeah. I filled out all
go away,
this
Jedi.
I noticed that he doesn't take his eyes off you.
Yeah,
like no matter where you are, his head will follow you.
The good thing about that, and all it keeps in canon with everything how they say. I think Cage says that he doesn't trust Jedis.
Yeah, but I did think it was a bit weird how because Jedi surely are just walking bags of credits. Like you'll get like 1 million credits or something for turning a Jedi in. Why he just doesn't take that? He doesn't like them as well. Yeah.
It is strange.
He just says
he does that in the film, doesn't he? To Han Solo, he turns him in and gets loads of credits. But he could do the same for Jedi, which he knows the Empire are looking for, but these bounty hunters don't. So
yeah, I don't know. It was a bit strange. I also would have. I know, I would have liked to, because this is halfway between the prequels and the original trilogy. I would have kind of liked a transitional look for him, give him. A different cape or a different kind of colored something. I know it's obviously it's Boba Fett. You're looking at him as Boba Fett, but I don't know.
I will say on the bounty hunters, but the different bounty hunters, I wish they had more variation because you're getting really the same thing over and over again as you're going through them.
Yeah, that they do.
I think they changed the names on a couple of them.
They all have their own stories.
Yeah,
but
I think one was called Joe the Cannibal.
Yes, there was one called. Yeah,
Joe the Cannibal.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they could have done Shadow.
Have a character like Bosk or Greedo.
Bosk would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose because you kill them, I guess you can't really have any of them in it.
No, just someone from that species, the same.
Oh, a Trandoshan. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Trandoshan.
With the variety they put into the guys in the saloon, they could have done that for the bounty hunters. I definitely agree with that. They are a bit repetitive. Yeah, 100%. But the fight with Cage was pretty cool. I thought it was a good boss fight.
Yeah.
And just she's cool. She's this Aussie.
She's a cool character.
Bounty hunter lady. I loved her.
This Cad Bane sort of look, hasn't she? So
yeah,
she's a female Cad Bane.
Yeah.
I'm certain she'll pop up in something with anytime bounty hunters becomes a thing, she might end up being in with them.
Yeah.
Bound to come into live action at some point, I think.
I don't know what it is about her. Just going back, taking her head off, maybe. There was something about the costume and the tightness of the buttocks and things like that. She did it for me. I'm not sure why.
She did it.
She did.
The tentacles.
It's absolutely not. It was. I don't
Big
know.
eyes.
She was a very attractive character, I thought, in terms of her physique.
For a new kink.
Yeah, you should try Kit Fisto. You'd like him.
No, it's absolutely not the tentacles. It's more to do with, I think, and the Australian accent. I was imagining Kylie Minogue in that outfit. That's what was going on.
Yeah,
there you go.
I like how you're on to say that, Peter. That was, you didn't just let it go.
Keep going.
Yeah. So the Bedlam Raiders are kind of the main antagonistic force in the game. First off, love that they use Clone Wars battle droids, B1 battle droids.
Yeah.
So good to see. Just hearing Roger and their little banter was great. Some cool kind of bounty hunter type guys with lightsabers. They were good as well. But they're led by this character called Ravis, who I thought was awesome. Just this really big, imposing guy. He doesn't seem evil. He has his own kind of moral attitude, I guess. But he was just really, really awesome to awesome to see. He's a Gendai, which is an immortal species as well. We've seen them in some of the comic books and the Clone Wars, the 2D Clone Wars cartoon. So I feel though they didn't really live up to that in the in the boss fight. Like I think the boss fight was a bit too easy. Like he should have been one of the hardest enemies in the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they could have got a bit more inventive, I feel like, with that. But yeah, I love this character though. I'm sort of sad he didn't make it through the game. Pete, what do you think?
I liked him. I thought he was really cool. Quite, I know he was working with the bad guy at the start, but quite an honourable character in terms of why he was doing that. You're saying that you were disappointed with the fight, James. Just watching the cut scenes, I thought the fight was quite good. But yeah, you know, it's maybe in the gameplay is very different, I guess. But it felt watching the cut scenes that it was a good battle. But yeah, no, I thought it was really cool. I'm gonna get shouted at by you Star Wars nerds. I guess the only thing I sometimes get disappointed about is I like the idea of a lightsaber being a Jedi or a Sith weapon that only they can kind of yield, a special weapon to them. Seeing that basically anybody that gets a hold of one can use it, it kind of diminishes, I think, the importance of the weapon. So I'm never a fan of seeing other people use lightsabers.
I do like it because I don't see what, like, I think because they don't have the Force, they're nowhere near as proficient with them. But like I think it makes sense that like you have this laser sword thing. If you were just a normal person, of course you would use that, like, you know, if you could.
Yeah, but I always thought the lightsaber changed color from being force sensitive and having more force. So the fact that anyone can have them, wait, that's what it's supposed to be. Like, yeah, otherwise it shouldn't. The blade should just be clear and not shine.
Well, as far as I'm aware, like your lightsaber, when you get your kyber crystal, it will change color to whatever color you have, and then that's just how it stays. So these are just other Jedis. Like Ravis has collected Jedi lightsabers, and he just distributes them among his people, you know. So like someone picking it up wouldn't change the color of it.
They do change over time because obviously Ahsoka gets white ones from her.
Well, she's purified.
Does it not change in this game? Does Cal not take a red one and turn it into the same color as his?
No, so that's called bleeding. So there's two things you can do with. You can bleed a crystal, which is turning them red, so you're imbuing it with dark side energy. So that's how Sith create the red.
Yeah, we get to him. Dagan does it, doesn't it?
Dagan does it. Amazing thing to see as well. I've not seen lightsaber bleeding like in this kind of way before, so that was really cool. And then purifying as well. Like Ahsoka has white lightsabers because she took an Inquisitor's lightsaber and she purified them, so she imbued it with light side energy and like restored it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why they're white. So as far as I'm aware, it's just like your lightsaber color turns into something when you
find it.
Yeah, when you get your crystals, yeah. As far as I'm aware, anyway. But yeah, I think Ravis was a great character. Anyone else have anything to add on him?
I think
great character.
Good. Yeah. I'd like to see him as a figure. I want to get him as a Hasbro figure.
I'd be cool Black Series figure you get out of him, I think. Yeah.
Ooh, 1/6 scale
would be good. Build a figure that though, wouldn't it?
A die cast, Peter.
They don't do builder figures in Star Wars. Don't give them ideas. It costs more.
As you mentioned, Simon Dagan, so he's the kind of was supposed to be the lead villain. There is a surprise villain we'll talk about next.
Yeah,
but, I feel I liked the performance. I love the design. I've not really been into the High Republic stuff. Like I'm not giving it a proper go, to be fair. Just looking at it doesn't appeal to me, but this has made me more interested in it. I think the aesthetic of it, and we see in like flashbacks and stuff. You know,
I like his Force Ghost arm.
Yeah, so did I.
I love that they don't. I just thought they were going to give him a robot arm, and they didn't, and I love that. He just kind of phantom like force pushes you and stuff. I thought that was really cool. I feel like his motivation was a bit like I didn't really understand why he was.
Yeah, I didn't feel like he was a strong villain. I mean, as it was leading up to the twists and stuff like that, I don't know. He didn't have that kind of overarching big bad feel to me. I wasn't really convinced by him, if I'm honest.
Yeah,
it actually makes me think that his lightsaber is that tinted orange that we're gonna probably see in the Ahsoka series with the bad guys, and before it's not full red because obviously he's only just pissed off with the Jedi with what they did with him, and they didn't back him up.
In the game, it looks a bit more full red, I think, though.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's not like
you fight him like 3 times, don't you?
Yeah,
you do. Yeah. So there's the fight kind of with him initially when you're when you break him out. Of
When
the
you
tube.
release him from the thing, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another fight with I think there's two more. Yeah, I think you're right. There's 3 fights in it.
Yeah, I don't understand why he released him though. Like you go there and you find this bloke in a tube. It's always a bit iffy. But
If you found a bloke in a tube, would you not let him out?
nah.
You wouldn't let him? Of course you
You
wouldn't.
want to know everything
I
about
would.
him before you let him out.
They let you out of a tube, Simon.
All he knew was that he knew he was a Jedi, so I think he kind of trusted him.
Yeah, that's the whole point of him going there.
Yeah.
He went to find them and help him, like. But yeah, I like
Right.
kind of every time we fight him, it adds a new element to it. So like he starts throwing his lightsabers spinning around him in the next fight, and it's really cool to see. So yeah, great boss fights. I think all the lightsaber fights in this were awesome. Like all those fights, like in game. Maybe a little bit too easy. Like I didn't really have any trouble with any except for Vader because you're not playing as Cal, you're playing as another character, and you're still getting used to the controls. But like I pretty much one-shotted every.
Yeah,
every
none of the
lightsaber fight in
bosses
the game.
looked OP at all, did they?
No, there's not really like it's the creatures more so that are difficult. I think fighting
Yeah.
than the lightsaber and stuff like that. Yeah, I think you just kind of get into a rhythm of like parry-ish jump, like so. But then it doesn't break up the kind of pacing. You don't get frustrated.
That's
it's
very
like
true, yeah.
yeah. So I think that's a good element of it anyway. But yeah, I love his fight scenes. I just feel like, especially compared to like the second sister in the last game, who was an incredible villain. Kind of dropped the ball, like not dropped the ball, but like he just wasn't as interesting as I think he could have been.
Yeah.
But we do find out our best bro. I was just about to say Brody.
Brody.
Bode,
I actually enjoyed his character. Actually, I really I thought, oh, he's best buds with him.
I liked him. I didn't trust him for a second.
Telegraph from the start. I knew he was going to be a double crosser. I didn't expect the twist that he was a Jedi.
Exactly.
But I knew, but I knew he was going to be the bad.
Just because he had the backpack, I thought, oh, he's like part Mandalorian type band,
Yeah, he's a scoundrel,
scoundrel. Yeah. To have be more sensitive as well was.
I just feel like, and we were talking. Ben, the attention-seeking geek, just messaged me earlier and said, make sure you mention how often they touch each other's arms. And like, I think it brings up an interesting point that I think they're so friendly with each other. They're such best buds. And we've not met this guy, so Cal just trusts him implicitly, and we don't know who he is. It just makes you suspicious of him immediately. I'm like, why is he so cool? Why is he so happy with him? Like,
it's like he was too overly wanting to do stuff for him and everything.
Yeah, it's like too eager,
Yeah.
So, I didn't trust him for a second. Like I saw that coming a mile away. I didn't. Again, like Peter, I didn't see him being a Jedi. I thought that threw me for a little.
Yeah.
The trust I saw there was when he mentioned about his daughter early on and things like that, and you're thinking, okay, that's.
I didn't catch that early though.
Yeah.
I only realized it was only like an hour before he turns that he starts talking about his daughter nonstop, and I'm like, who's his daughter? And that made me more suspicious. And then he starts going, "Oh, you go ahead. I'll just hang back here." I'm like, okay.
I think he mentions it right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, very
I just missed. I missed it, and I just didn't catch that. Just
you're too overexcited to play the game, wasn't it, James?
Tragic story, but because to be fair, you can sympathise with why he's doing what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? In some regards, I think. I really enjoyed his character. Really enjoyed him.
Yeah, I thought he was cool. He was cool, and I was sort of like, I didn't trust him, but I wasn't like, he's definitely going to be the bad. I actually said to one of my mates, I'm going to feel really bad if we finish this game and he dies saving you or something. And like, I just didn't trust him the whole time. So like, he almost had me, but yeah, I just think he was too perfect, too nicey nice, like didn't talk about himself much. And eager to help out. I just found it suspicious. Amazing, like speeder bike chase sequence when he reveals his
Didn't see that.
Didn't see this. Yeah,
you see that
No.
It's similar to the digger bish. Like it's just he hops on a speeder and you chase after him, and you're it's just the momentum you have, and you're like hitting him with your lightsaber, and he's like dodging it. It's really, really cool. So yeah, I absolutely love this. Another great set piece in the game.
Reminds me of like Halo in the ending sequence that you go in the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like more on rails, I think, than that. But it's great. Yeah, GP, do you like the spit?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good element brought to the game. Using the speeder bikes. I can't remember doing that in the first game.
Yeah, no, there's nothing really like that in the first
one. No, there isn't, no. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great sequence. like you said, it's brilliant.
Yeah, because he just killed like Cordova. You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
bastards, you want to get
yeah.
after him. I hadn't mentioned Cordova. I thought he was dead already, so I was surprised when he showed up. So because you're like following
I
his
thought he was
trail.
dead after the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's
He
because
was
you're
just
like
like a proper
following.
forgettable character, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I forgot to put him in the slides, so I guess he is. Yeah.
So that's how well remembered he is. R.I.P. Cordova.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Get
July
over it.
Master.
Get over it. You get it? Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic sequence, though. I absolutely love this part. And the boss fight was awesome. He's almost like a combination of all the different characters you fought. Like he has the jetpack with the lightsaber with the blaster. Like it's like all the different like bounty hunter kind of enemies you fight. He's like a combo of all of them. So yeah, I'd say this is my favorite fight in the game. I heard a lot of people saying this was like impossibly difficult.
That's what I don't understand. But what to me, he's not as powerful as the last guy without the arm. So why is he like? I know why he's the end boss type thing, but he shouldn't be as powerful.
Well, I didn't find him particularly difficult. Like
no,
but you're right. He is like he appears more powerful in the Force, like the way he kind of chokes Cal and like he throws him around
and the other guy. Yeah.
Maybe it's because like Cal wasn't as prepared for him. I guess maybe.
Yeah.
But I think you're absolutely right. Jedi Master Truth says, "Do you guys think this game's story is the best story Disney Star Wars has produced?" It's up there. I certainly think some of the best Disney Star Wars storytelling. I would say Andor is like probably top. Rogue One is up there as well.
Rogue One would be top number one.
This is a side story, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's Cal Kestar's story, and it's a side one to the movies and everything. And I did enjoy it. So
yeah. I would say, like, even Mando, I don't think it's the storytelling necessarily that I love about Mando.
That doesn't feel like a side story. That feels like a silly quest type thing. So
a silly quest type thing?
Yeah, that's what it does.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, that's what they've got in the posters. Mando season 3, Mando, silly quest
type thing.
Silly quest.
By Simon.
Yeah. Fantastic boss fight anyway. So I just love a good lightsaber fight. I love how they just have an amazing lightsaber combat system in this game. So, but yeah, Bo's motivation is his daughter Kata, I believe. Like when you kind of meet her at first, like in the ISB thing, it's like a oh shit moments, you know, like oh okay, here's the other side tension when they're kind of Bode comes in the room. She's definitely going to be Force sensitive, surely, isn't she?
100%.
Yeah, that's
what I can say. The next game is Cal training her to be a Jedi.
Yeah, I have that in the slides for the next one. But it was a cool element. A bit fucked up that like she's hanging out with her dad's killers.
She got over it very quickly, didn't she?
Yeah. She did, didn't she? She didn't really seem to have a problem with it.
Merrin did
future Sith.
She did appease her, Merrin, saying like, and she was trying to convince her, oh, don't go to the dark side, basically. Yeah. Don't let it control you. Right.
It is odd. It's a messed up situation, but I mean, I really hope in the next game that's a thing that they kind of address, you know. But on the topic of the next game, because this is like the rest of the whole story, where do you think it's going? So like obviously Dark Side Cal is like an element that they're kind of teasing. I think Kasha being his apprentice, like they, you know, because having like a child companion is like a big thing in games now. You have like The Last of Us with Ellie, Atreus in God of War. I'm sure there's dozens of other examples. So like I wouldn't be surprised if you just have a companion the entire time.
Yeah, I can definitely see it. Especially with Cal, I think he's going to be walking the light and dark side, like down the middle.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how he trains her.
I think Disney is going to bring it into canon. I reckon.
Absolutely.
I reckon you're going to see other major characters, and he's going to the actual film, the game and film acting series will tie in.
Yeah.
That was word salad, Simon. That last
I'll make it.
Translate that for me, would you?
They're going to turn this into canon in movies. I think this is setting up this planet full of Jedis for a future movie. Like that. Where it'll turn out that Cal's been there all along, and you'll come and save the day or something. I started this conversation thinking that they'll go dark side with Cal. But listening to you guys talk, I think you're right, James. I think it's too familiar So I think they'll just keep teasing at that, and then
Yeah.
Disney aren't stupid. No offense to computer game people and all the rest of it, they've cast a very prominent actor already in this role, and they've given him his face. Do you know what I mean? That is the actor. Now they wouldn't do that for no reason. I don't think. I think they've done that so that it can transition into live action, quite easily.
Well, the only thing though is like, where do you slide that in? Because this is 10 years before A New Hope. Where would this planet of Jedi reemerge into the main kind of story?
I mean, we've got, in this game, James, you've got people who've got magic powers I've never seen. We don't know that this weird portal thing they've gone through and the pink space and all the rest of it. Time might move differently there. Do you know what I mean? It might be a time frozen planet or something.
Ahsoka
Absolutely.
Rebels, it fits into there, doesn't it? There's a new Ahsoka
But that's
series.
that's 20 years later, a little more, 25 years later or something. So it wouldn't be. Cameron Monaghan they'd have to age him up a bit. I could see like Ahsoka, or maybe not Obi-Wan, but like Ahsoka or like Quinlan Vos or someone like that showing up in the next game, like involved with the hidden path. Like that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, Tanalorr might end up like popping up in the Rey movie, for example, like even without Cal. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, I like what they've set up. I think there's some really interesting story threads here. Kasha like potentially being angry at Cal for killing her dad, I think would be a really cool thing.
Oh, that'll definitely come up.
Yeah. And like if they lean more into the dark side thing, how that affects gameplay. Like will you have Force Lightning or those are things you can upgrade. Maybe the more you pour skill points into dark side powers, you like get the Sith eyes and you start going full like paler and stuff. There's a lot of really cool things they could do.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be really cool. Anything else you think might show up in the next one? Anybody? Any theories?
It would be cool if they brought the actor from Force Unleashed to meet him.
Well, it's Starkiller, yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. They were going to have him as. I thought they were going to have him as the villain in this one initially. That would have been a cool thing.
Yeah.
But they were going to have him in Rebels, I think, as an Inquisitor, and then they just said he just doesn't fit. Like they would have to nerf him too much, and then it's not really that character anymore, which I guess. But like, yeah, I'd be okay with that.
That's not canon no more, though, is it? Stark.
No, it's not.
Canon no more.
No. Should be great character. I love that. I love those games.
Really good character, yeah.
He's no Cal, but like I'll take him.
I always said if I was ever going to do a Star Wars cosplay, it would be your Starkiller.
Okay.
It's a cool costume.
It is.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's it. Any kind of final thoughts on the story or the game or overall? Anyone wants to add?
Graphics amazing, great story, great gameplay. I mean, what else do you want for it? That's why it's such, welcomed game, I suppose.
Yeah. It's really kind of hit my buttons in terms of enjoying Star Wars again. I think a lot of the Star Wars that I watch because it's Star Wars, but I don't particularly love it, shall we say. I really enjoyed this, and I liked the storyline. I have to be honest, James, I think I'm too old to go back and start playing video. I haven't got 30 hours and stuff.
Okay.
But actually, in terms of watching this as a cinematic experience, or them turning this into a mini series or something like that, I would be all on board with that. I would love that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like it's some of the best Star Wars storytelling we've gotten in recent years. GP, final thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely love the storyline. Great game. I've actually re-downloaded the first game. So once I managed to kick the kids off Minecraft.
Definitely. If you can, when you get a new console, this should be the first.
Oh, this will be one of the first games I play. Definitely, It's just for the exploration bit itself. I love me open world games. Like that's the sort of games I gravitate to. Even this is like a linear game, you do get quite a lot of exploration.
Oh, it's huge.
Which I really like. Yeah.
Linear isn't a word I would use for this game at all. Really.
No, I wouldn't either. And then you have the hub of the saloon.
Yeah.
Which gives you that open world aspect as well. Where you can
it's like a little town.
There's different characters. And there's recruiting different characters and everything. Yeah, it's absolutely up my alley.
Like I put it this way, like I've had it's been out about a month now. I played it fairly regularly, like pretty much hardcore a week straight, right? And then since then, like every couple hours, every other day. I'm still finding new things. I just found like a massive cave yesterday that I spent 2 hours in. You know, it's that big. It's that like there's that much to do. Exploration is that rewarding. Like it's really incredible. Like I think this is probably my favorite Star Wars game ever made. Like it's top.
Jedi Spelunking.
I think they could add in the new one maybe customizing his ship more and things like that. You know,
But there were, interesting. You say there was ship customization in the first game, and they they got rid of it for some reason. I don't know because they poured so much into him. I guess. So yeah, I don't know. It was a weird thing to take out, but like, yeah, I'm. You can't argue this game falls down in the customization department. I think definitely.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So that is our review. Just a little look forward on some of the kind of upcoming Star Wars games before we finish up. Star Wars Eclipse. This is from.
Did that get announced ages ago? The Eclipse one.
A couple of years ago, yeah. All of these games were announced.
The cinematic was absolutely amazing for it, and then we've not heard anything from it.
No, it's from
anything about this one.
Quantic Dream is very like that though, where like
it's like these guys drumming, and like it's really like the cinematics absolutely astounding to watch, and then it just went silent.
Yeah, Quantic Dream is quite like that. Like they'll announce something, and then 3 years later, it's out in 2 months. You know, so I think this might be this year, hopefully. But it's like a sort of cinematic. Like Man of Medan, do you know that you mentioned? On the show
yes, yeah.
It's like that. It's like you choose.
That'd be cool.
Choose dialogue, and it affects how the story goes. And some characters might live or die depending on what you do.
That'd be cool.
So that'd be a really cool one.
Yeah, Telltale sort of.
Yeah, set in the High Republic era as well. So that'd be
cool.
They kind of just do what they want with the story. Ubisoft is working on an open world Star Wars game. So I'm curious. Like, is that going to be like? I really want a bounty hunter game. Give me like a you know,
I'm
Red Dead style.
A good MMO. Would you do like back in the day where you could customize your character and go?
Yeah.
Or do we all want an online Star Wars sort of game?
We'll get to that, Simon. Let's just talk about the Ubisoft one for the moment, okay? Open world bounty hunters. I think that's could be what they go for.
The only thing about that, James, is it just have to be set on one world, wouldn't it? They wouldn't be able to go from planet to planet.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. But I suppose like Kobo shows that like you can, because if you have speeder bikes and stuff like that, it still feels Star Warsy, you know. Or you can just fly your ship in orbit, like around different places. So yeah, I'm really excited for that one. Respawn, who did this game, are working on 2 more. So they're doing a first-person shooter, which is not Battlefront, so it's another new IP.
Right.
And they're doing like a Age of Empires style, like real-time strategy game. Right. So I think that'd be cool. So yeah, that'll be in the next couple of years. And then Skydance Media, so they're the ones that are doing that Black Panther, Captain America, World War II game. So they're working on a Star Wars game as well. So Amy Hennig, who created Uncharted, is leading on that. And she was actually working on one at EA for a very long time, and it wound up getting cancelled. So hopefully she's just reviving that game. It's called Project Ragtag or something like that.
But was the one just where you just play it as a like stormtrooper? Was a game
Battlefront?
No, not Battlefront. No, there was a storyline one where you play just like a stormtrooper type.
Was it first person or third person or what?
I think it was third person, but it was in development, and then that got cancelled, I think. So
you play as I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can tell you. Yeah. It's not an EA one anyway, because like there's been no gameplay proper of any of the games. But any Simon, you mentioned like what would your dream Star Wars game be?
A really decent. I remember back in the day, I used to play. I can't remember which one it was. Like Luke's Lightsaber Academy or something like that.
Jedi Academy.
Yeah, something like that. And I could customize lightsabers and characters, and I always had dual ones. And you know, you were all went in these battle zone battling and things like that. I mean, that one was more like a battle royale sort of like Battlefront sort of, you know, now. But it would be cool to have a really cool MMO. MMOs are huge nowadays, and Star Wars universe is huge.
Well, there is the Old Republic.
Yeah, but that new version. Do you know what I mean? New up-to-date version. The Old Republic's really old now, so yeah.
Knights of the Old
cheap-
Republic free, please.
Yeah.
No, the Ubisoft
KOTOR
one
remake
sounds
is in
really good.
trouble. So that's why
Is
I
it?
actually forgot to put that here, but apparently it's in trouble. Like it might not come out, so that's unfortunate.
Because I remember playing that; it was really cool. But the Ubisoft one has me intrigued. Like you said, I'd love to see a bounty hunter game. But there was a bounty hunter game years back, wasn't there?
Yeah, you play as Django on Coruscant.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's right. Yeah,
it explains how he like the mission he did to be chosen to be the clone. Like,
yeah, I don't think it was very good.
I loved it.
This Eclipse
Did ya?
on GP because it's really good. This Eclipse cinematic.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out, Simon. Yeah.
Pete, I know you're not much of a gamer, but is there any kind of concept for a Star Wars game you'd like to see?
I mean, I'm with Simon, to be honest. I like MMOs. That's the kind of game I used to play a lot of and sink hours and hours into. So that would interest us. Have we ever had a Star Wars game like Mortal Kombat? That kind of fighting game?
Yeah, it's called Masters of Terras Kasi. It was on the PS1 and it was terrible. So I just never had a crack at it again. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's enough like fighting games. I don't really need a Star Wars one. Like I'd rather like you can explore or you can.
Tell you what I did play an awful lot of in my youth, and I even bought a special joystick, flight stick, and everything for it. I had the old X-wing and then TIE Fighter on the PC. Yeah. They were stunning games, absolutely stunning.
There was EA did Squadrons. Yeah, they did like a spiritual successor kind of game a couple of years ago, which nobody bought. Yeah, nobody bought it or played it. I didn't play it. Hera's in it.
I think for the fighting one, I think in one of the Soul Calibur games, you could play as Yoda or Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah,
and Starkiller,
yeah.
I think it was Soul Calibur 4 or 5. I can't remember. A while back.
But yeah, for me, like a Red Dead style bounty hunter,
definitely,
on Tatooine style thing where you can like,
pick a different planet. Everybody's on Tatooine.
Yeah. There's loads of outer rim planets. Just
I want to go around. All right, a different sand planet then.
Different sand planet.
Jedi.
I thought you said you didn't like the sand games.
It's coarse, rough, irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Now you want a planet of it.
Just like a cool, track down people and kill them and collect money and shit. That'd be cool. Well, I want to see that Western stuff.
Living the dream.
Yeah. So that is the show. Guys, what have you got coming up on your channel? Pete, we'll start with you.
So this Thursday night at 8 o'clock, I'm doing my next episode of This Is My with Dr. Von Hoot. So that should be interesting. No idea what the hell he's going to show with, but he's mad as a box of frogs. So that should be an interesting show. Right.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that one.
Wearing a mask, talking about himself for an hour. He's not going to give you any information at all. Like,
well, he's already sent us some interesting stuff. So
he's going to talk about neighbors for half an hour of it.
So looking forward to that one. Saturday night, we're doing the usual Saturday Night Live show. So this week, we're focusing on the usual stuff, geek reports, so all the geeky news, what we've all been watching, what we've been reading, and what we've been buying. We're going to talk briefly, spoiler-free, on Spider-Man, because I'm going to say that on Saturday, so I'm just going to touch on that. Going to do a review show the Thursday after. I don't think I sent you a slide for that. We're focused conversation at the end of the show this Saturday is going to be on the best and worst remakes. And we've already started fighting in the group chat about that.
My fault, sorry.
So that's going to be another heated one. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be a bit cracking. We'll be reviewing The Little Mermaid as well. So I'm excited. Yeah. GP.
Yeah, next live review is on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. And we are reviewing Nocterra Volume 1.
Very good. Efren's asking, when are you guys going to review Pong? That's the last game I played. That's sad, man. You're missing out. This was great experiences on video games. And then for me, I'm writing a video, would you believe? I'm actually going to do an edited one.
Get on.
Yeah, because the EA's kind of deal with Star Wars has lapsed. So like it's been 10 years. So I just want to have a look back on what they did and what they did wrong. And
very cool.
So
and when can we expect this video?
In the next couple of weeks.
Very
couple of weeks.
Well, you've got touches like with BioWare and things like that. So
the what?
But BioWare, when they did BioWare Star Wars games and things. So
no, this would be just like the 5 games or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the show. Simon, do you have anything coming up on your channel?
I'm looking probably to do another anime one soon, so I might get you guys to watch some anime I've been watching and then review it. So.
Awesome. All right, looking forward to it. The links for everybody's channels will be in the description down below. Thank you, everybody who was for Zaf. Thank you guys for joining. It was a long one, but it was a good one. Had a good time.
Good fun.
Definitely.
The link for everyone's channels will be in the description. Thank you, everybody, for watching, whether live or on the rewind. Thanks for everyone joining the chat. And we will, may the force be with you, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.